issues slowly abate. When does your respirator turn down? 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 Doppler effects. Your respirator, when does it turn down? Your respirator, when was it turned on?
They're in.
Hey, welcome. I got tricked. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of Tavern Talk with the Leaf Brother. What are we? The Leaf Brothers? What are we, Dan?
We are the Way the Leaf, and this is a special edition of the LeafCast.
It is truly a special edition. We have, well, it's not a different day, and we have two guests, and one guest who has never appeared on a show before. So everyone, be gentle. Dan?
Yeah, this is exciting. We have a newbie, not only to our show, but to this world in general. So, guys, let's have Adam, shall we?
I am opening the tavern door. And listen to the people. Such a lively bunch. All right. You ready to introduce our friends?
Yeah. Are we bringing them in right now? You all know one of our guests. She's been on before. She's active in our Discord mod and all mod. She is beloved by everyone in the community, and we're thrilled that she is back on our show. And the other is a new person to recording as well. He is very active in Discord as well. He has been a part of our community since the beginning and is always an active contributor to our shows. And I love his input, and we're getting him in here, and we're just going to have a straight out discussion. So guys, you're welcome. Please be happy. We have This Is Not Zuul and Jake D.
Ominous song. Oh, they got some weird. Oh, in the middle of reading again.
Our reading friends. Gosh, we're always interrupting reading.
I feel like we just go, like we're walking around at cafes around the world, just kind of looking at people like, hey, what are you doing? You want to live stream?
Yeah. Hi, guys.
Welcome, Dana.
That's
Welcome,
my cat
Jake.
right there.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Okay,
and this is Cece right here.
Hi, Cece.
Oh,
Hi,
so
Jake.
we have 3 guests. We forgot we should have introduced Cece.
Guys.
Oh, that's cross screen petting. So we have so many friends in the chat. I want to say hi to them. We have Master of the Dick. We have Tree X, Malkir, MK, Green Chancity. Hello, everybody. Altaholic. Great.
Hey, everybody.
Alternative aholic. You're addicted to alt. And Timothy Raleigh. Everybody, this is so much fun. Welcome.
Ryan,
So,
I'm just going to go ahead and set up right now.
okay, as is the tradition, Dan's going to fall in the background.
Something got in the way.
He is going to play us a song. We will serenade our guests.
Jake's first song. Yeah, so Yes.
you'll get used to the backwards thing. I put something like I have a visual thing in my head. I say, okay, I know that Dan is over by the bookshelf, so I'm always going to just turn to the bookshelf. So that's what I do. You get used to it. Yep.
Yeah.
So then we want it when we all want to come to the middle and like give a big old smoochies. Oh, yeah, that was great, Jake. Good. You're a natural. You're a natural. Let's go. All right. So, Dan, are you injured, brother? Brother Dan, are you injured? Oh no.
Maybe.
Brother Dan!
Brother
Dan's down.
All right.
Well, Dan is working intel on that.
Should I call 911?
Couldn't hurt.
While we're waiting for Dan, do we want to tell the folks what we're doing tonight that's special?
Yes, so the tides are turned, and the tables have turned, and we are going to be interviewed by our guests for the first time. This is a new twist of the show, and I believe it was your idea, correct, Dana? I believe it was Dana's idea. Yes. So thoughtful. So, I've been nervous all day. I'm so used to just kind of hammering you guys with, I'm a journalist, right? I'm a journalist. And it's really hard to, have the focus on me, but I'm ready. What is happening? I don't know. I think we lost Dan. Danny boy.
Oh no. Is his screen frozen? What's happening? His audio?
I don't know.
Okay, so
Yes.
everyone. Normally Ryan and Dan interview other people, first-time readers or other long-time readers, but this time Jake and I are going to be putting them under the spotlight because in my opinion, your first reread is the best one. You catch so many things on a reread.
So many things.
Because you know the whole story. And and Robert Jordan is a master of foreshadowing and, working on those characters little bit by little bit. So we want to get their take on this first reread together of The Eye of the World.
Yes, it is truly astounding. Again, I've been very open with the world about my experience as a reader. I was more a literature buff when I took up the first book. I think I was knee deep in a Nabokov phase at that point, and I took up the first book. And I read it and I enjoyed it, but I think I literally missed everything. I thought everyone was talking about like folklore. Oh, look at these simple people with their simple like belief systems, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't think there was anything more nuanced or interconnected in any way. So I have been mind blown again and again and again as I've been reading this with that intent purpose of analyzing it, like kind of line for line, like I believe you guys have. And it's super fulfilling. It's teaching me not only how to, read this series, but to read fantasy in general. I really want to go back and go through a lot of Brandon Sanderson and reread those again, because I just read through them just like, and I just want to. I want the characters to develop. I want the storyline to develop. I want to see a narrative arc done. Right. And I never really puzzled out. Like I'll puzzle out a sentence. If it's a really well-written sentence, I am in that sentence. I want to take that sentence. I want to analyze why is it so well. Look at the rhythm. Why is there a comma there? Everything about that. That's the part of literature that I like. But now to think about like, wow, to take in not only one book, but 14 books as this whole entire arc is pretty amazing. Now I'm starting to worry about Dan. I'm gonna call him.
Yeah, do that. Something that we're going to do. We are going to look at the last two chapters that you covered. Were chapters 42 and 43. You covered them on this last Thursday, and so we're going to pick out things from in there that will spark conversations. Okay, maybe this is the beginning of something that happens later on. Maybe it is something that has, that has questions that come up that we can discuss. And so that's what we're going to do. Let's hope that Dan is okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might be serenading us right now, but he doesn't know his mic is muted. So, there. Yeah. I think he played an entire song. No, where'd he go?
There you go.
Oh no! This is a lot of sausage being made, guys. A lot of sausage.
Yep. This is how the sausage is made.
So, so this might be the most well-structured show we've had. We have an itinerary brought to us by Zuul and Jake. Jake there was a planning meeting and everything.
Yep.
So how about I think this might be a great time to do the Mad Libs. Actually, let's check in with brother Dan. He's popping in. Dan, are you there? Dan, are you there? Dan, are you there? Yes. I don't want to start the Mad Libs because Dan is in position, so he has to lie down and play guitar.
Test, nothing.
Oh, we got brother Dan.
Okay.
Danny boy, we hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I went over and was just letting you guys talk while I was waiting patiently to go play, and then I figured you guys didn't hear me. All right.
No, we were trying to fill space because here you go. This is the song of all songs.
God dang it! I'm really sorry, guys. I'll try and do better. All right. My mind must be faking. My mouth it wants to drool. My eyes must be mistaken, but I gotta keep my cool. We have two hosts and Jake in. This is not Zuul.
Thank you.
All right.
No, Kitty. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Cat attack. Guys, this is going great. Don't you guys think at home? This is going great. Yeah,
Sorry.
cheers.
Yes.
Beautiful, Dan. Beautiful.
Thank you so much. Beautiful.
All right.
I'm going to take, while Dan gets ready, I'll tell everyone we're going to be on the Dusty Wheel on December 2nd. I'm nervous as shit, but we are judging memes, and apparently they think we're suited for that. I think I'm suited for that. I think we're great at this. So it's going to be fun. December 2nd,
You'll
my
be
first
fantastic.
appearance. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to get one of those coveted, I guess,
Mugs.
Yeah, mugs.
Oh yeah,
Well,
the frosty mug.
Like this, but with the Dusty Wheel.
Now, do you keep getting one each time? Do you keep getting, you start packing them in? No? All right.
I don't have one yet, but I think it's just one.
So, yes, we
the
do have
day
an
will
itinerary. We do have an itinerary, but you guys in the chat are more important. So let's keep it lively. Keep talking to us. If you have questions, comments, we can blast them up on the screen and all laugh at it. This is going to be a collaborative effort to make this episode happen. Are you guys ready to start the first itinerary?
You know what? Well, hey guys, it's been a while since we've had loose lips, Ryan. It's been a while since we've been tossing rumors around like frisbees and stuff.
and Tavern Talk, where lips are loose and rumors fly like pizzas in New York.
Like virus at a rally.
Oh, okay, that's a little too.
All right. Sorry.
All right, did you want to start us off with a Mad Lib?
Oh yeah, so no, we could do that. Yeah, so Master of the Deck, if your meme is up there, I take bribes.
Apparently, there's $100 Amazon gift card on the line for the winner.
Your integrity most definitely can be bought.
Okay, I'll split that shit. We can just cut it down in half. I don't know. Is that how it works? A question for Ryan: how long did it take to grow this epic stash? I bought it. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry. We did have a cannon where I would just shave it every morning and it grows back by the time I'm live streaming, but that's hard to prove when I'm up at crack ass at dawn doing a football stream like we did today. But so I bought it. Thanks, MK. Gnest. Did I do that right?
Do you ever do it right?
I'm trying my best every time.
Okay.
That's what really matters.
You try.
I think she appreciates the effort.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to start with the Mad Libs? Yeah, so we did Mad Libs, everybody. This is a new tradition, the WoT-themed Mad Libs. I have two participants who did 4 Mad Libs each. I'm going to show you the original quote, and then we're going to read the remixed version. So here's the original quote. Let me get this thing off of here. The original quote is, "None will pass me while I live, Perrin, not Mirdraw or the Dark One himself." And Jake's remix. "None will stab me while I slice, loyal son of Aaron, son of Halan. Not Mirdraw or the elegant 69 himself."
Nice.
So the Dark One became the Elegant 69?
Yes, that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
If that is not the
canon
new
now.
canon,
The elegant
be
69.
damned, all of you. It is now the Elegant 69, which is amazing because this is a loyal quote, and you brought up loyal, and that makes him talking to himself like a madman, Jake.
Well, none was stabbed
Guys,
while I slice myself.
All right, so that is the first of the many uncanny things that Jake did. You guys are gonna freak out as we go through it.
I hope so.
Should we bang them out? Let's bang them out. All right.
I think it's the Elegant 69's own luck.
Oh, so here's the original quote. "Oh!" He opened the other eye and scratched his cheek with blunt fingers the size of sausages. Zuul's remix. "Woohoo!" He whistled the other hand and painted his neck with hilarious fingers the size of chocolates. All right.
Hilarious
Original
fingers.
quote. "I must say," Loyal said, setting the chest down, "that traveling with Tavern has turned out to be even more interesting than I expected." Jake's remix. "I must jump," Moraine said, passing the chest west. that escaping with Ta'avran has hunted out to be even more weaving than I expected. That is a verbal salad. All right.
Well done.
Passing the chest west.
They can't all be winners.
No, there are some though. All right, if it becomes any more interesting, I will go back to studying Shangtai immediately. Confess everything to Elder Haman and never leave my books again.
Okay.
Remixed version. If it becomes any more tainted, I will go back to the Blight glacially to surf everything to Elder Nodin and never leave my wizards again.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Glacially Odin and wizards. Nice.
All right, original quote. My first day in Camelin, I could not believe the uproar. Children cried, and women screamed, and a mob chased me all the way across the city, waving clubs and knives and torches and shouting. Jake, do you see what you did?
I do.
That's, guys, ladies and gentlemen, my prompt to Jake was, give me a place. And he said Camelin. And the original quote is Camelin. So he literally gave me the one word out of the entire series that I had in my Mad Lib, which is just ridiculous. So he goes, my gigantic day in Camelin. I could not believe the quack. Children gathered and women chased, and a mob imagined me all the way across the city, waving clubs and wooden spoons and torches and sleeping. Also, you had chased where I had chased. Jake,
Okay.
that's number 3. Okay, you. This is unbelievable, people. He had Camelin and he had chased. I was floored. All right, original quote. The old stories caught me, Aes Sedai. The old books filled my unworthy head with pictures. I want to see the groves. The green weaves caught me, Aes Sedai. The slippery cookies filled my catty elbow with ice cream. I want to see Tanchico.
The slippery cookies filled my catty elbow with ice cream.
Yes.
I want to see Tanchico.
I want to see Tanchico.
I want
All right,
to see
2 more,
I
one
wanna
each.
see Tanchico.
The elders think I'm odd, wanting to travel. Jake's remix. The elders think I'm elegant, snooping to drink. All right, last one. Can the Dark One do such a thing? Kill time itself and the eye of the world? Can he blind the eye of the great serpent? Can the hilarious 44 do such a thing? Bathe time itself and the butt of the world? Can he scarf the ear of the sleepy serpent? So we had the
Hilarious
elegant
44.
69 and the hilarious 44. Maybe we could vote on a new name for the Dark One.
The Elegant 69 still works
The
for me.
Elegant
Hilarious
69.
44.
I'll take it.
Yeah. I like it.
All right, chat, you guys are awesome. Shout out to Noden.
Yeah.
Yep. Got a Noden shout out.
Glacially.
Yes, Noden.
And he goes
Glacially,
to
yep.
hang out with his wizards.
Yeah, absolutely. Noden loves those
It's canon.
wizards.
It's canon.
Absolutely.
All right, so let me get down here. We are below you now.
Okay.
We are subs. Oh, what is it? This is weird.
Wow.
I'm looking up these guys' noses. I'm never down here. Look at these noses. Go on.
Watch, we can be their puppet. What master? Hold on.
I know. Yeah.
I control you now. Turn this way.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, stop that. Stop that. Oh, stop that. Stop that.
All right. All right, everybody. Oh, yeah, this is great. Dan, do it. Get up there, Dan. Get up there. All right, everybody. Welcome to Tavern Talk. I'm our new host, Jake and Dana. Toot, toot. All right. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let's start. Shall we? I'm ready for anything.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Elegant 69 wins.
So, Jake,
Yep.
yes, Elegant 69 definitely wins. I'm all into that. So,
And the
Jake,
last
you
one.
had something on loyal.
Loyal, since we had just had a lot of loyal quotes.
Yes. My favorite character.
So Loyal says this. The
So, what
elders
did you
think
want to
I'm
talk about
odd.
loyal?
Yeah. The elders think I'm odd, wanting to travel.
Yeah.
I always have, and they always have. None of them believe there's anything worth seeing outside the steading. Perhaps when I return and tell them what I've seen, they will change their minds. I hope so, in time. And
In time.
we know later on he does exactly that. So he's right now, book 1, Loyal is calling his shot.
Now, what book does he bring them all? Like, what book does he convince them to stay and fight?
It's much later.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Yeah, the last, like 6 kind of run together for me.
Who knew that was such a dire thing that he was referring to? I mean, I just thought, Elder Hammond's just kind of lazy and doesn't want to leave the steading. No, there's cool stuff. Let's go see. That's what catch the travel bug. But apparently,
well, also, if Loyal wouldn't have ended up with these 3 Tavern, then he wouldn't have been dragged all across the continent, seeing all the things, seeing all the different cultures, all the different people, and seeing what makes them people, and and what makes them worth saving.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Very
Great
good
point. Yes. Do you think that this was a Tavern kind of pull all together? Like the fact that he ran into them and started his travels well before, how old was Rand? I mean, Rand was 10 when he started. He said he's on the road for 10 years, right? How long has he been
years, I think.
No, he's been out of the setting for 3 years. So
three. Okay, yeah. So
Rand was like
15?
almost 17, because he's like 19 at this point.
Yeah. So nothing.
He's
like,
almost 20, not quite 20.
Could Tavern influence it that intricately, or is that something else?
Here's the thing. I know you talked about the pattern and choices with Malkier Talks, and we're going to talk about that some more later from things that are in these 2 chapters. And so I really think that the pattern was putting various people where they needed to be to possibly do what was needed. Okay, putting all the pieces there to see if you smiling at the cat. To see if they could do what's needed, and so I think that's what's happening here with Loyal.
Yeah, I don't think them being Tavern kind of sent him on his path 3 years ago, but most definitely meeting them in Camelin for sure.
Can an Ogier be Tavern?
No. Isn't that addressed?
I think it's human souls.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was addressed maybe in the Great Hunt.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
That's why you're here.
If anybody knows, you can type
please
that
let us
into
know.
the chat. And there's another cat.
See?
All right, here's a good question. Mystic Legend, was Rand Tavern from birth? Good question, Mystic Legend. I actually,
what do you two guys think?
My belief is that, there's not free will, but I am willing to grant that if there is this kind of idea that the pattern is just kind of like boxing people into scenarios to make sure that they do it, which seems highly inefficient, but whatever. If he boxes them in, and if they don't do what he wants, and he kind of brings another human being here, get in there, and make them do it. Oh, he chose wrong. Here, get some other guy in there. Get some, like, that doesn't sound very efficient. But I'll grant that if that's the case, I do grant that Rand from birth was able, if there's not a predetermined world altogether, then I believe that Rand was Tavern from birth, pulled Tam towards him, and he needed Tam because Tam was the one human being who's going to raise him right and protect him altogether. I have a whole other Tam thing we can get into, but yeah.
Well, I think that he was Tavern at birth. I think that's part of being Dragon Reborn is you're just born. I mean, you are the pattern as soon as you're born.
Presently, but at least a little bit.
So I start over again? I'm sorry, I was reading the chat.
Maybe not so strongly Tavern at birth, or at least in his younger years. But
he did. To Ryan's point, he did, I think, pull Tam to him. Tam, there's no reason Tam had to leave the heat of battle literally the heat of battle. He went up to the mountains because it was cooler.
Yeah. Well, it is canon that somebody can be Tavern for just a part of their life. They're not Tavern from birth
Correct.
to death.
Correct.
So
and I'm on
can-
board that the Tavern are all over the place at various parts. I think it happens all the time. I think just because we don't have someone who can see them glowing, it has the talent. I mean, Moraine doesn't have the talent. Loyal is
Be
just
a lot cooler if she did.
ascertaining, but who Loyal doesn't really have the talent. He's just like, well, 2 + 2 = Tavern.
Well, I think he does have a little bit of the talent.
Oh,
I think
Okay.
Loyal does, that he can see Tavern. Or maybe you're right. I mean, it's possible that it's just that he's so observant that he sees kind of things twisting in the pattern by just listening to the stories. He sees patterns, like he's studied them in the past. He kind of knows what happens around Tavern, and he's studied them. He knows enough about them and the pattern that maybe he doesn't actually have the talent like he does tree singing.
correct. That's my thought as well.
Yeah, I just think he's just super observant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep,
But,
because I disagree with you. I don't think that he was from birth. I think that it's the pattern putting people where they need to be for certain events and giving them the opportunity to take advantage of those things. And but I'm willing to be swayed that maybe he was the only one from birth. But
Well,
we
let me
see-
try. Let me try and sway you, because there was a prophecy as soon as he was born
Okay.
that killed an Aes Sedai in saying it. I mean, so that's a bowling ball dropping right in that pattern. So I would assume that would be defined as being Tavern.
Chastity says that RJ has publicly said that only Rand, Matt, and Perrin are Tavern.
He's a liar.
No, I think he means like at that moment in time, they're the only ones who are Tavern, because we
Yes.
know there have been Tavern in the past.
Yes.
Right.
And this,
So yes,
yeah.
at that moment, I think that they are. But at what point does the Timberian-ness come out, and do they start really pulling people into the pattern? I mean, were they doing it when, they were just running around the mountains of mist and goofing around being boys? I don't know that they were really affecting the pattern much then. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, who knows? Like, maybe bears just start turning around and mating like all together. Like, maybe like we don't know like what kind of natural effects like Rand's.
And Jesus was Jesus, but didn't do his miracles until he was in his 30s, more or less. So maybe it didn't mean that he wasn't Jesus.
Well, I'm saying
He was just a teenager.
I'm not saying that Rand wasn't the Dragon Reborn. He wasn't the soul of Lews Therin. He wasn't intended for this. I'm just saying that it wasn't time for the prophecies to be fulfilled and for everything to come to its culmination at that time. So maybe it wasn't needed by the pattern for him to have influence on the pattern.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Now, so the way my brain works, though, it's
Thank you, Sean.
it's not enough to say, in my estimation, it's not enough to say that the Tavern poll affected Loyal meeting with Rand once they were both in Camelin, because there's so many steps that need to happen for Loyal to be there at that moment. And that's why I get really kind of like stuck up in and then, there's a lot in the text that points to this idea that there's not a lot of free will. It's just like, unless we're going to say like specifically with the Tavern poll, like the amount of things that have to happen, like literally Tam, mysteriously goes off to seek adventure, right? And it has this kind of weird secret life and no one knows shit, but all of a sudden he finds his baby. And we know that he knows the prophecies from the Raven chapter. That's what Lauren turned me on to, where he's sitting there reading or telling the story to the children about the Dragon Reborn with great detail, like a gleeman. And all of a sudden you're like, what's Tam doing, man? Why does he know all this shit? So
he's just a weird farmer.
We talked about that.
Yeah, I'm
we
not
talked
the
about
Mark
that.
Blade.
We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
So what if Tam had some Taveran nature in his early years, and that kind of set him on the path to finding Rand, versus Rand being born Taveran?
Well, a lot of people are put into place at different times, but they're not Taveran.
Sorry.
They're key to various things happening, but they're not Taveran. So I don't think just because you're being used by the pattern makes you Taveran. Like Moiraine is not
Fair.
Taveran, Egwene is not Taveran. They're all very necessary for certain things to happen, and there are certain things put into the fact. Now, like I said, some of these people are like pulled into the pattern around the Taveran boys, and those who have been with him the longest are pulled in the strongest, I think. So when you have like Egwene and Nynaeve, they are not Taveran themselves, but they are pulled, I think, in strongest and have very strong parts to play. And maybe
Let me ask you.
Okay,
go ahead. Let me
you
ask you a question then. What? How does like magical humans, or like not Aes Sedai, but regular humans like Perrin, like her, the Sniffer, like Min? These are all things that are so abstract from the normal pattern. You would think. I mean, I don't know.
Even
I think
Wolf
if you have a
Brothers.
magical power like that, even though you're just like a normal person that can't touch the one power, that this is a Taveran, that you're Taveran. I don't know.
Well, the Taveran, though, has a very specific function to play within the pattern, within the web of destiny. Like it makes a web of destiny around you. And so there are, I think, things that the pattern needs in order to balance itself. And that's why, as it's coming toward Tarmogeddon, these old things, old powers are coming out in order to be used at this time, and they're resurfacing. That's my take on it.
Mm-hmm. And then
Jake,
and do you think that is related to Moiraine and the Old Blood and Manetheren? And like the idea where she keeps saying, "Oh, the Old Blood is strong." That's one of the foreshadowings that I was going to point out. Is like Moiraine kept constantly bringing up how the Old Blood is strong in these people. And then Lauren had this amazing take where he said that Moiraine, through her speech, like awakened the Old Blood in the Two Rivers folk. Like had and
The
that
Weed
had
for Manetheren speech.
yeah when she pulled out the Legos, like so that like that was her like propelling that Old Blood idea even further through kind of her will. I thought that was a really cool idea.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah,
Me neither.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
I have not a huge problem, but to me, Taveran is a catch-all for a lot. Not laziness for sure, because it's all well written and it's done well, but it does seem to be more of a catch-all, at least in the fandom. In my opinion, the Taveran is more of like the pulling, not necessarily everything else that's associated with it. Just kind of making sure they're in a certain spot when they need to be, or something to that effect.
Was Matt's luck part of Taveran nature, or is that the Elegant 69's own luck?
The Elegant 69's own luck for sure.
Taveran.
I like that.
I'm on the camp that it's Taveran. I say it's Taveran.
I think he drank the cup.
I think you drank the cup too.
Okay. Now this is something that we're going to talk about later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one later.
Yes. So remind us, we are going to talk about that.
We'll put a pin in that one.
Yep. Do we want to move on to the next thing?
Sure.
All right.
Yes. I just want to say, you guys in
doing
chat,
great.
you guys are the best. This is a super lively chat. It's going faster than I can't even manage all of it. So I'm sure there's some amazing comments. I would love to be posting up. Just keep going. Keep it friendly. Keep it lively. Aren't Jake and Dana doing amazing? I'm super proud of Jake. This is Jake's first try. He's a stud.
Yay, Jake!
He's incredibly handsome. I'm falling in love with him down here.
Yeah. You and me both, baby.
All right. So, can either of you tell me the first time we see we hear about Noel in the books?
Okay, so Brother Dan, go. I cheated. I looked him up. I was like, oh no, who's Noel? Jesus Christ! Like, who's?
But I did not know this until I looked in the companion. But I was like, I saw the outline. You had given us the outline. And I was like, where? Who the fuck? Why are we talking about Noel? I'm like, oh crap! So I still have not picked up on that. That was the passer of the Sightblinder is going to I thought he was an Ioman, but I guess it wasn't really confirmed when I think about it, that loyal story. But when they refers to him as Sightblinder, I just kind of said, okay, yeah, it's some Ioman.
Okay, so until this, you did not know that Noel was in this chapter.
No.
Chapter 42.
Correct.
No.
Correct.
All right. So actually, have you noticed the various times? And by the way, if anybody doesn't know, Noel is Jane Charin, also known as Jane Farstrider. So have you noticed the times that the Travels of Jane Farstrider has been mentioned?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What did you happen to notice that in this reread?
Well, I mean, is that one of the books? I mean, is that one of the books that Rand notices in the library?
It is.
Yeah.
There's
okay.
several times, and Rand will read it in front of the fire.
Okay.
Like at his own homestead. Yeah, but I remembered that from the first read. If you had asked me before I had started this reread, hey, name one fictional book that occurs in the Wheel of Time, I would say The Adventures of Jane Farstrider. I remembered that for sure.
Yep.
So I just figured he was kind of beating it, that this was a very popular book. This guy was like the Marco Polo of his time. Mm-hmm. And then the companion kind of like filled me in on all this weird stuff that he was. You thought he was being like corrupted by Ishmael and all that. Yeah.
So when Loyal talks about this man 20 years ago, which by the way is right about the time that Rand is born.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he and of course Loyal of course says that it's just a little while ago, right? But it's 20 years.
Right,
so
right.
He says there was a man came to steading Shanghai a little back. This was not unusual in itself at the time, since a great many refugees had come to the spine of the world fleeing what you humans call the Aiel War. A little time back, 20 years near enough. He was at the point of death, though there was no wound or mark on him. Okay, so that's very strange, but he does get better. And before he left, he told a curious tale, which he said he meant to carry to Tar Valon. He said the Dark One intended to blind the eye of the world and slay the great serpent, kill time itself, which is interesting because one of the Mad Libs that you said had to do with his question to Moiraine, where he said,
Yes.
I wanted to ask, can the Dark One do such a thing? Kill time itself and the eye of the world? Can he blind the eye of the great serpent? So I thought that was great. That was one of your Mad Libs. So he was controlled and used as a pawn of the Dark One to do this. And later in his life, he changes his name to Noel, but he still keeps Charin. So instead of Jane Farstrider, he goes back to Charin, and so Noel
that works.
Charin.
The Dark One can't. You change your name, he's like, God dang it!
Yeah.
There's so many.
So let me ask you: do you guys know which Forsaken then uses him later in the story?
I do not.
I only know this because Dana told me.
I mean, if we give the chat 30 seconds, it'll load up. I want them to answer. What is the chat? What is the chat? Answer this question, chat. Let's see who gets it right.
In the meantime, let me toss a tiny little side question out there for you guys to consider. Why does Loyal? So Moiraine is obviously in a rush. She's curt with Loyal. She doesn't want to talk to him. And he's like, well, Aes Sedai, all right, let me just say this real fast. And then says this weird story. Why? So to me, that was a Tavern thing that he just spilled this story out, even though Moiraine does not want to hear it at all. But it was that important that he's like, well, you know, and I brought it up on our show on Thursday. I'm like, he could have asked that on the ride to Tar Valon. But I think the Tavern poll made it so he had to ask right then when they were planning, so that she's like, oh shit, we can't go to Tar Valon. We need to go to the Eye of the World.
Right. And this is what spurs the guys on to tell about what, you know, like Perrin, about the Aiel, the story of the Aiel that he learned from the Tinkers. And then they have to tell about their dreams, okay, which we will get into.
And Perrin is the one who instigates it, which Perrin does not normally do. He's the one that thinks things over and finally decides. But he's like, "Oh yeah, the Tinkers. Oh, and Balsamon. We gotta tell her, guys. It's important."
Yep.
And he was the first to ask Loyal a question, and Rand was even like, "Oh, that's interesting." Perrin spoke up first.
Yeah, Perrin's weird in this chapter. But so let's not forget that. What was the answer? Do we know the answer to? I'm going to guess Grendel.
Yes, Chancey got it.
Is it?
Yes, it's Grendel.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, you see him, and then when he kind of is doesn't have all of his marbles later when you meet him in Abu Dar, he's been under compulsion. He's lost some of himself because he's been a pawn of Grendel.
But isn't he the one who goes to save Moiraine with Tom and Matt?
Yep.
Yes, he is.
Okay, I'm baffled. Is he dark or no?
No, he's not. If you are compulsed, it doesn't make you a dark friend. I mean,
compulsion.
Weird loophole. Oh no.
Julian Sandar was compulsed to get the girls to come in the Dragon Reborn and be captured by the Black Aja and used as bait for Rand, and they weren't dark friends. So, yeah.
All right.
So do you think that that Jane Farstrider ever did go to Tar Valon 20 years before this and tell them the story of the Dark One? Do you think he ever went and said, "Hey, Amaryllis Seat," whatever Amaryllis Seat was there 10 years before, the one that was there when
Tamra?
Who was the one that was there when the prophecy was given?
Yeah, Tamra, I think her name is. Yeah,
I can't think of her last name right now, but it's Tamra.
Tamra.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you think he actually went and was able to talk to her and tell her that? And then what happened to her?
Are you? So can anyone just go up and talk to the Amaryllis Seat? You would think that there would be some sort of like funneling of
a couple books later,
and 20% of all Aes Sedai were black. So maybe he did tell an Aes Sedai. He showed up and she's like, "Okay, thank you, child. I'll go tell mother now. Fuck off." And then she just told Moghedien instead or whatever.
Back earlier in chat, this is related. Chancey says Tigraine Mantir was set upon by her path by Gitara foretelling Morosos. I had a little bit of that for dinner. I think the foretelling comes from the same place as Tavern.
And that's the same sister that had the foretelling about Rand being born on the slopes of Dragonmount.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
Foretelling comes from the same place as Tavern. So
the pattern.
So it's okay.
Wait,
so
how was Tigraine set upon the path by Guitar's foretelling? How is that?
Because that's how I think about it as well. I think about that foretelling occurred because Rand was born, and
but there's a different one,
and it was a cannonball being dropped into this pattern.
Wait,
she tells Tigraine that she has to abandon everything and go into the waste
Yes.
And then she tells her brother that he has to go north to the Blight.
Yes, Luke. It's a different foretelling. And so
Different
that
foretelling.
that foretelling sets them on their path and sets Tigraine on her path.
So then that is.
And there's another foretelling right, a little bit before this, maybe around the same time, by Elida.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And so I also think that the reason Morgase didn't throw his ass in the cells was like this Tavern pull as well. Gareth Bryan wanted to throw him in the cells. Elida's like, give him 2 weeks and let me see if I get another foretelling. I think I got one in me. And she's like, nope.
Yep.
No.
You might be right.
Okay, remind me. Elida, bad, right? Dark friend,
Super bad.
Nope.
right? No,
Not a dark friend.
Nope.
no, just mega bitch.
Yep.
Okay, just mega bitch. Okay, all
Chaotic.
right, thank you. Chaotic. All right.
Total red.
Okay. Yeah, that's I was.
I wouldn't even
yeah.
say typical red. She's more out for herself than anything else. The only person she gives a shit about is herself.
But what's interesting is she thinks that she is fighting for the side of the light. She has all the right information. She just gets it all wrong.
Yeah.
But, okay,
Like the
but,
White Cloaks.
but so if this dude, if Noel made it to Tarvalon and talked to Guitarra, then it's not a foretelling that
No, not Guitarra.
I mean, no.
died.
The Amerlin.
No, I mean the Amerlin. Oh, okay.
So maybe
and then
she just combined
so
the two.
okay, so those are just two separate events. The foretelling was separate from Noel going and talking to Amerlin. What would be the consequence of him having talked to the Amerlin? What would that? What's the events following that then?
Well, I don't know, because we don't know that if he actually made it there or not. However, the Amerlin was one of the 3 people who heard Guitar Moroso's foretelling of Rand being born on the slopes of Dragonmount. The other 2 were Swan and Moiraine. And you know what? I don't have my companion on me. I don't know what happened to that Amerlin, because at a certain point she's not around. And if somebody could look her up, that'd be helpful. But
I gotta hand up a puppet's ass right now. Companion's too big for me to handle.
So these are some great takes. Yeah, Elida is a hero in her own mind.
yeah.
I don't even
agree
see
with that.
Elida as ambitious. Christine says Elida is very misguided. And then Chancey comes in and says, I see Elida as radicalized by her misunderstanding of her own foretelling, which is a really amazing take.
Right, because
Dana's got a really good one about it.
Yeah, because she gets the wrong royal line. She has the foretelling when Tigraine is still the daughter heir, and before she leaves. And so that should have been the royal house of Andor or line of Andor that she should have been looking to. Instead, she latches on to Morgase and then Elaine, thinking that Elaine is the key. And so all along, she from the very get-go, before she's even a sister, she is going down the wrong path, and she's trying to force things into this foretelling that don't exist. And so if she has another foretelling, she's going to get that wrong as well. Because
thank you, Shantz. Tamara was assassinated.
Yep.
Black Hawk. I thought so.
I'm so excited to get deeper into this book. I'm almost bummed that I'm doing this stupid show because I gotta wait 2 chapters a week. I'm like,
Well, one of the advantages about this reread is we're not just rereading it. We're rereading it. At least I am rereading it to present a show, to present like more or less like tell the story of it. That's how we used to even phrase it. I would tell the story of the chapters. And so I read these things like 3 or 4 times. I listen to them. So things like suddenly will pop out, even in like the third or fourth time, I'm just kind of going over with the Sharpie again, little highlighter. I'm like, wait a minute. So here's one. So Moraine, she is convinced, it seems, in this chapter that the Dark One is in their dreams. She says, "What else did the Dark One tell you?" We know that it isn't the Elegant 69.
Or Hilarious 44.
The Hilarious 44. It is actually one, they call him Baalzamon, but it's Ishmael, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
So I actually have a note. I don't think I sent it to you, but he says dreams, but maybe they weren't dreams exactly. Baalzamon was in them. So was it a dream? What was it? What do you think it was?
Well, I mean, so there's like almost a physical place they return to. It gets a little confusing because there is that one dream where he's kind of in the tavern or in the place, the inn that I can't remember exactly. And then the dreams seem to happen in the tavern. But most dreams are in this weird place where he's walking around in that kind of MC Escher world, right? And like, so I don't believe that's a dream. I think is that what they're calling a dream shard? Is that what's happening? He's kind of slipping into like a dream shard. I remember something about dream shards. I don't think it's teller. It's not that dream. It's not where Perrin's going.
It's
right?
not the
Right,
world.
no,
I don't think it's that.
Or at least that Matt and Rand seem to be going into the same movie theater and watching the same scene, but it's an interactive movie for them.
Yep.
Perrin has the protection of his wolves now, it seems, and did not get that dream. But they both got the dream where they saw the figures on the table. Matt actually interacted, picked one up, and was like, "Oh shit!" It turned into my face. I was feeling myself hold myself.
Of course, Matt picked himself up though.
Right. So
Like, ooh, I get to touch myself.
Like they all get the same dream when it happens, and then it's just like it's almost like a Stanford psych experiment or something, and then they go and they write down their findings. Okay, well we got and then they throw them into a different dream and see how they react, and then write down their findings or something. It's weird.
Okay, so going back to what you were saying about Moraine thinking it's the Dark One, she had kind of said, "Hey, if you have weird dreams, let me know," like way early on. And so then when she finds out they've been having dreams and that they think it's Baalzamon, she says, even though she's not a dream walker, she says, "I could have tried. Now it is too late. Each time the Dark One touches you, he makes the next touching easier for him. Perhaps my presence can still shield you somewhat, but even then, remember the stories of the Forsaken binding men to them." And so she mentions like several different Forsaken, and we've heard before already that things that are done in dreams bind you stronger. So my question to you is, do you think because they keep having these dreams that every time the Forsaken, because we know it's not the Dark One, gets closer and closer, like binds them more and can find them easier and has a little more sway with them?
Oh, well, actually, I was trying to suss out when they're having the dreams and when they're not having the dreams. And I noticed that Perrin does not have a dream for a very long time until he's with the Tuatha on. I mean, and then all of a sudden he has one after being with them for a couple days. I was thinking that the Dark Friends are literally saying, hey, he's over here. He's over here. And then like they go to sleep and he's like, "Oh, thanks for the heads up." And it's like he almost gets like the yellow point on the map of the video game and he kind of moves towards that. So I couldn't figure out. I was trying to figure out who it was that tipped him off that Perrin was with them. So I didn't know that one, but I don't know if it's necessarily that he can get to them. I don't think he knows where they are. I think he might, when he knows where they are, be able to jump in the dream easier, but I don't think it's acting like a Google Maps for him.
That splinter in his finger was weird too, because it stayed after he woke up and it disappeared once he pulled it out of his own skin. I don't know if his own blood was kind of keeping it around or something, but as soon as he pulled it out, then it just poof. vanished, which is weird. Again, I didn't know dreams could do that yet in this world.
Yeah, so
Right.
I mean, the assumption is it's not a dream, right? So what are you thinking it is? It's the dream shard, right? What the hell's the dream shard? Tell me about it. Break it down. I'm ready. Can put my
I'm
feet
not
up.
very well versed in the dream shards.
Tell me about dream shards, Dana, because that's really
All
the
right,
answer,
so,
right?
So I think it's Dream Shard. And I think that Balsamon, not being, fully into this world, has enough control of the in-between spaces, Teleron Riad, that he's able to form his own vacuoles, his own bubbles, and he's able to pull people in. If he can find you, because for whatever reason, because of the Tavern twisting, because dark friends say, "Hey, look, here they are," and he's able to hone in on something in the pattern. Once he gets close to you, he didn't know what the three of them looked like. Eventually, he did start to know what the three of them looked like, but they didn't know which one was which. So that's where I want to ask you about Matt. So in this dream sequence that we have in book 43, I don't know what he's doing.
Fucking Matt. Yeah.
But so Matt actually touches his figure, and what happens to the figure?
Oh, like he morphs into him and he starts feeling, which is one of the greatest. I don't remember this in the first read through. The touching himself through, he basically makes a voodoo doll of himself, and he's all feeling himself up.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, I wanted to be more understanding of Matt, and if everyone wants to tell me that he's possessed, that makes way more sense. Even literally at the very end, they're at the Eye of the World. He walks in. He's like, "Hey, what the fuck is this shit?" Kicks a rock into the Eye of the World, which could possibly blow up, and they all die. He has no idea what the hell. He's like, "Hey, what is this? Okay, this is underwhelming at best." Kicks a rock into it. I was like, "Man, there's no excuse for you right now. What's going? Why would he? He's just an idiot." All right, go on.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think he has impulse control issues.
Oh,
right.
Yes, he's a 13-year-old ADD.
Which is why he most definitely drank the wine.
No,
hell yeah, he drank that fucking wine.
I disagree.
He drank extra.
I think this is very different from seeing these figures, and one has a wolf, one has the heron mark blade, and one has the ruby hilted dagger, just sitting there on the table and going, "Huh, that looks like my dagger," and just picking it up. I think that's very different than from some creepy guy saying, "Drink the wine, aren't you thirsty?"
Rand almost did. Apparently, they were super, super thirsty, and Rand almost did. And he doesn't have impulse willpower.
Yeah, no, he's got tam powers.
Debatable.
Yeah, Matt's tamless. No,
I
almost
had it to his mouth, and he said, "No, I don't think so."
I'm Team Jake. Team Jake. I think Matt fully drank the wine, asked for more, and I think that's the only reason that you could justify a lot of his actions.
So what do you think about Rand's reaction by sweeping the figures off the table? He's like, "I deny you." He threw all the figures onto the ground, stomped them with his feet. Mm-hmm. He got stuck with a splinter in the process. So my two questions are, so that reaction is pretty badass. Is that was there any repercussions or anything that resulted from that? And my second question is, what got him? Was it the heron mark blade or the ruby hilted dagger?
Oh, neither. It's a slither of the table.
Oh, shucks. I didn't.
Yeah, I thought it was the table.
Shucks.
It's the table.
I thought it. No. Oh! I thought it was from one of the figurines. I thought it was a little wooden knife or something.
The first couple times I read it, I thought the same thing. Exactly the same
from
thing.
The table. Okay.
From the table. It's a wooden splinter from the table.
Thank you. Thank you. There is no Zuul.
So
that was, if we died tonight, Dan.
God, at least, knowledge is power. I'm a little stronger. Thank you.
Dan is manipulative. He is cunning.
I know.
Oh, gee. You have no idea.
Yeah, Dan, and I got a lot of these. No, hey, so how are we all doing? I'm feeling great. I can keep
Great.
going. Yeah, I'm having a great time.
So do you think? Okay. Do you think that
we're barely halfway through our notes.
No, and so if we do get a halfway point, we can take a break. I would love to. We I don't need it now, but like maybe in a half hour
it's
or
your
whatever.
call. It's your guys' call, though. I mean, it's your show right now. We're just hanging.
So when you think we're at like a halfway point,
okay,
we'll take a 10-minute break. I'll play some music and then rest my hand.
okay.
Yeah.
One more thing about dreams, and then maybe we could take a break.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
no rush though. No rush. Yeah, go on. I'm
Maureen
excited. This
said
is great.
something about like maybe if you stay close to me, you could have some protection because like she said Nynaeve and Egwene have protection, right? Because they touch the true source, and Perrin has his own protection of a sort.
Oh, I love this. Okay, go on.
Yeah. Yes, I got my own protection.
She says something else very important right at this point.
Yeah.
Go on.
What is it? Perrin says he's found his protection, and Moraine agrees with him.
And she stares at him.
Yeah.
Until
She
he's
says,
like, "Oh, fucking stop staring at me, Jesus!" He's like, "What's up with this lady? God damn it!"
So she knows what's going on with Perrin, right? She's at least heard the stories of Elias, the warder.
Well, so I mean, wouldn't Lan tell her? I mean,
I would assume if Lan has knowledge, then she does too.
You know what? Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Hadn't put that together.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine just strategically, he'd be like, "All right, like, let me tell you, I know what this shit is.
I've seen this
fucking
before."
Golden Eyes. Yeah, like, let me talk to him. I know this shit.
Which is why she healed the wolves after their battle. Well, I guess that's later
Dragon
on.
Reborn.
Yeah, Dragon Reborn.
All right, everyone, Christine Reed needs a martini. So
go make one.
No. I mean, let's all drive to her house. If anyone could drive to Christine's house with a martini, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Can we FedEx it?
Christine needs a martini. I think that's.
All right, but then it continues.
Right,
she says something about how the dark. She goes. We are protected because the Dark One cannot see us until we call his attention. Right? You're right there.
Let's see. There are limits to the Dark One's power inside you. Oh, this is where she's saying
the
surrender and you will be
elegant
his.
inside you. You know what I mean?
Surrender and you will be his. Deny him and his power fails. It is not easy when he touches your dreams, but it can be done. But he can't. Anyway,
it's when she says like we're protected. She's like, you don't have to worry about us, and you don't have to worry about these guys.
Royal has nothing to fear, nor Egwene, nor Nynaeve.
But she is referring to the Dark One, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's talking to the Dark One specifically.
Is it the Dark One or is it Balsamon?
Right.
She's talking about the Dark One. Her
She's
understanding.
wrong.
Does she believe that it's actually the Dark One in there?
I know that's what's so weird. She's been wrong this whole time.
I think she thinks it's the Dark One who's somehow being able to influence the world at this point, because she does make a distinction how even the Forsaken, who were like a tenth, not even a tenth as strong as the Dark One, were able to affect even very strong men and bind them to them in the past. And so she doesn't think that it's Ishamael. She mentions him as one possible one. So she doesn't think it's him. She thinks it's the Dark One. Now, Ishamael.
What about the term? Is the term ubiquitous for the Dark One? Or I always thought Balsamon was a Forsaken.
Balsamon is a Forsaken. However, he took that name, and that is a Trolloc name for the Dark One. But during the Trolloc Wars, he took that name for himself.
Mm-hmm.
But the boys call him. They mention Balsamon. I didn't know that just kind of meant the Dark One. I thought that meant a Forsaken. But it seemed that Moraine was like, "Oh, the Dark One's in your dreams. Okay, I can kind of protect you."
Yeah.
But while still calling him Balsamon, it seems like they're using the two back and forth as if they're synonymous.
Well, they all believe that it's the Dark One.
Yeah.
At this point in time.
That's the unreliable narrator.
Yeah, and we don't, and then we only find out.
But the term Baalzamon at this point means Dark One to everyone, then, right?
Yeah, she probably only hears for the first time when Algenor gives that, or was it Algenor? One of the Forsaken at the end of the battle, like gives that info dump and is like, oh yeah, Ashamael's out, now we're out too. Others will be out later. Just wait, like this whole kind of like info dump. Maybe the first time she even realized that there is like a splintering off of what she I don't know if at that moment she's like, oh, have I been wrong this whole time? But it might be the first time she's realizing that the Forsaken are trickling out.
Yeah, I just didn't know that the term Baalzamon meant Dark One. I thought it meant Forsaken to like
Trollic language.
Yeah, I would thought that Maureen kind of would have known that Baalzamon was a Forsaken name instead of a name for the Dark One. That's all where my confusion lay.
Okay.
Can I just say how badass Moraine is in this chapter when she's like basically sussing out the entire thing, and then on this drop of the hat changes the entire 20-year arc plan she had and goes, we're going to the eye. Like, and she has this one moment where someone says something.
We're going to the eye.
She has this one moment where someone says something and she doesn't turn her body. She just turns her head and nothing else moves just to look over. And it's so creepy. She's so seriously badass.
Yeah, that's when she looked from, I think, from Loyal to Perrin. Loyal had just said the sight blinder to the eye of the world, and then Perrin jumps in and is like, oh yeah, the Tinkers, and she's like, what? Yeah, I think her eyebrows just moved up like a little, like, go on.
Oh my goodness, that Maureen is going to be so amazing in the show. I think Rosamund Pike, she has such great acting chops. She's just gonna rule. She's gonna rule the room. You're just gonna feel that. With that, like you said, she barely moves at all.
Yeah,
right.
And what's gonna make it even more so is her supporting cast is a bunch of teenagers or 20-year-olds.
Guys, I found the quote. This whole time I've been looking it up. Here's the quote. It's later on, but it's still the same scene. Moraine shook her head. Loyal has nothing to fear, nor Egwene nor Nynaeve. Out of the massive humanity, the Dark One can touch an individual only by chance, unless that person seeks it. So, right, and I used to. One of the things that we were puzzling out in the very beginning of our reread was whether or not there is truth to like that instance of like when the Conger or the Copland said the Dark One and all that bad luck happened, and Nynaeve was like, "Hey, I assume someone said the Dark One's name because these bad things are happening." And I was like, first off, Nynaeve is freaking badass herself for looking at events and making the connection. Hey, I think someone in this house said the Dark One's name. Which is crazy.
I thought it was just peasant stuff on first read.
Oh, first read, yeah. I thought it was all peasant stuff. I thought this is all just like peasant stuff for sure. But go on, Dana, go on.
At the beginning of The Great Hunt, when Rand is hiding in the women's apartments, and he wakes up and Nynaeve is there. He thinks he's killed the Dark One, so he says the name Shaitan, and the world kind of shakes for him. And she's like, "You fool, drawing his attention to you like that, you idiot!" And he's like, "But I killed him." And so anyway, that's the first moment when I knew, hey, this isn't just folklore. It actually does draw his attention to you. So Moraine's right.
No, but also
she also says that a web of destiny is being woven. So I think the fact that they're Tavern makes them easier to find. And when Rand channels at Four Kings, he says, you're quiet for a while and I lose you, and then you light a signal fire for me to find you. So when he uses the power like that, that's another way of drawing the eye of the Dark One to you.
Right.
So I think that's why he's been able to find Matt and Rand easier.
I thought that was like
finding
Pat. I thought it was like Pat and Fane and like Dark Friends who are like, giving him the heads up.
Well, let me ask real fast before we go on past the Tavern stuff.
No, I got something to say too. You go.
Are there Dark Friend Tavern? in theory?
Ooh.
And if so, would Padden Fane qualify?
I don't think Padden Fane would qualify because he was made.
What do you mean? He was
Like
a
the
dark
Dark
friend.
One, he was a Dark Friend, but like the Dark One made him into that.
Uh-huh.
Into
Right.
basically his hound. And then
But
the
he
fusion
did-
with Machin Chin and
with-
everything else.
Yeah, Machin
And
Chin and
then
Mashadar.
Mashadar and La-di-da.
The fact that he was outside of the pattern, but so I guess it wouldn't
Who
in
was
theory
outside of the pattern?
Who?
wasn't he considered to be outside of the power at least or something. Maureen had said something like that, right? He's like neither the Dark One, he's an evil, but it's not part of the Dark One's evil. It's its own separate evil. It's its own.
But he's not outside of the pattern.
Okay.
Only the Dark
okay.
One and the Creator are really truly outside of the pattern, and so that's I think the Forsaken.
I don't remember what I'm.
The Forsaken. Yeah, my cats. The Forsaken were shut away with the Dark One, kind of outside of the pattern. And so,
Okay.
but I think other than that, like the ways might be outside of the pattern. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that there was something that. Yeah, and if the chat knows what I'm referring to at all, as far as like what Padden Fane, there was something about it. It wasn't outside the pattern, but it was something where he is just rogue on like a cosmic level.
Oh yeah, he is like worse evil than ever. But I wanted to ask you, Maureen said something about possibly being able to protect them from their dreams. But that very night, in that inn, Matt and Rand have that Balsamon dream. So what do you think of, can she protect them at all from this ever in their dreams?
I felt like, so my memory is that there's some sort of shield that she was able to put on dreams later.
I remember
felt
Rand
like,
was shielding his own dreams.
or was that always like she taught him Rand how to shield it? Something.
Nope.
I thought she was able to shield dreams with some sort of ward specifically.
It's the touching of the power, and like you can shield your own dreams, but I don't know about shielding other people's dreams.
Yeah.
It's just that being around her should help.
Yeah.
But they've already had so much communication with Balsamon that he's touching their dreams anyways. Except Perrin, he's got his own protection.
Actually, real quick, it's funny, the chat's always a little bit behind. I have 2 points. As you guys read this, I want to remind everyone that in the prologue is when we first hear of the idea that the Dark One saying his name is bad, right? So they're Luz and Fancy Pants are like having their face to face. And he says Shaitan, and then Luz goes, "Oh, don't say that, that's dangerous." And then Fancy Pants says, "Dangerous for you, but not for me. I follow a different path now." So it's in the prologue of the first book that you can.
He says, "Oh, at least you remember that." So it was more like a reaction than a memory. It was it was almost like a reflex.
So do you think this is okay? So what is that? So I know the Eye of Saruman is just kind of like, I can imagine it looks like a stupid eye moving around, and it's like limited. It's almost like it's but even that's like a stupid idea. So what is going on with this like limited attention span of the Dark One? Like what is that? So he's not omniscient. He's not everywhere. He's not omnipresent. But
he's outside of the pattern.
But
outside of the pattern.
And I think as the boar, because the boar is thin and the seals are weakening and breaking, that he's able to touch the world more and more. We see this by the weather, and that he maybe he's more able to see different things, but he, like you said, he's not omniscient. He's not omnipresent really. So I don't know. But I wanted to ask you.
The Badger Reborn has a video that claims the Dark One doesn't exist. It's his latest video, I think. It's pretty good.
I don't buy it. So
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah.
I like hot takes.
Oh, I've got a
Obviously.
spicy one for the end.
good. Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. So I kind of thought that maybe when Rand and Matt are sleeping in the same small camp, like when they're traveling through the Blight, when they're traveling through the Ways, that they're close enough to sleeping close enough to Moiraine that maybe her, touching the power or whatever is enough to shield them, shield their dreams. But they're not in the same room with her when they're sleeping that night. They're up in the attic somewhere, and I'm just guessing that she might even be on a different floor. I don't know. I mean, I don't think that Basil Gill is going to put an Aes Sedai in an attic room.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So maybe she just wasn't close enough, and he already had honed in enough on them. I don't know. I really don't know. That's why I asked this question.
I thought he found him because they saw Pat and Fane in the streets running around, and he ran away from them. And I thought he just ran and told everyone that they were there. That's where I thought that's why the dream started. I always thought those kids, because I've been trying to look at like when they're having.
I don't think that they know physically exactly where they are in the city, because like the rats can't find them because she's like made kind of a blind spot for them. That they keep avoiding that section of the city. So I don't think that he knows actually physically exactly where they are, but he's touched their dreams enough that he can still touch them in their dreams.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
He has,
and in fact, that mirror, the blurry mirror.
Like he knows what city they're in. That's kind of my thought on it.
So what we know about dreams from later on, from when Egwene learns dreams from the Iowise ones, like she can pick out the little pinprick or the star or the light or whatever, and she can figure out, like once she figures out that person's dream, she can find them anywhere in the world, no matter where they are physically. She can find their dream.
I like it.
So here's a question.
Once Bosman has his grasp on what their dreams are, that's why I think he was trying to figure out which one was which, so he would know which one he was actually after. He knows it's one of the three.
But he seems to be able to almost separate himself and give each like almost put each other like the three of them in like the same escape room and put them through the same like video, like as if they're watching the same cutscene and making choices.
But is it happening at the same time, or are they happening one after the other?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, there is one time where Rand wakes up and can tell that Matt was still kind of stuck in some crazy ass dreams, and he's watching him for the rest of the night.
He took my eyes.
Oh,
well, that one, and isn't he like moving, like bending weird and awkwardly whenever the rats' backs get broken?
Right. But then wakes up and feels completely fine.
So what is so there are times when it's very specifically Red has a dream when they're in one of the inns. I think it's in Berlon. And it happens in the inn, I believe, where he's just like in the kitchen
with
he's
the crusty goad.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, and they're in the kitchen and he's just like, the people are like she's still cooking, and so it's not in that MC Escher world. What is the qualitative difference between those, and can the same harm be done when he's like, it seems like it's the dreams where Rand is coming back with injuries are happening in the dream shard, but not in a dream. Am I right? Because there are there's two separate things happening, right? Am I right?
The dream shards are part of Teleron Riad.
Good question.
And that is a good question. And I think that those other dreams are still dream shards. There is like a fever dream or something that he has where everything's all mixed up, where he's seeing a bunch of different people and weird things are happening. I think those are just weird dreams. Okay. So I think if it's Teleron Riad or if it's a dream shard, you can be injured in them.
Both.
Either one. Both. Because I think dream shards are just kind of like a broken off piece of Teleron Riad, basically. They run under the same rules. The person who creates the dream shard has more control over them.
Okay.
Has all the control, right?
Yeah,
Except for
Yeah,
I guess.
think
Well, but what's going on where he's like for like I think weeks he was like able to avoid him in the MC Escher world. He mentioned at some point having many dreams where he's just spent the entire night walking around in that MC world, knowing that he's somewhere in there and successfully avoiding him. And then there's hello, the looks I'm getting. Yeah, but that's help me out, brother Dan. I can only read your face. You're.
I believe you.
No. Yeah. Does that make sense? Anybody? And again, the chat will come back 5 minutes later with an answer.
I think that there was wasn't there like a hedge maze at one point?
Good night, Christine.
Bye, Christine. Go get that martini and go to sleep.
Good night.
Yeah, Dana, you do look pretty. Thank you.
All right, go on, Dan.
All right.
We're losing Master of the Dick. Sorry. Master of the Dick's nodding off. I think she thought we were going to be more strippers, but yeah, no. This is we have many sides. We're very
classy bitches.
We are classy AF. I know. I'm so much. Yeah, it's like, hey, give me a day off once. Hey,
and we get cameos by kitties.
Yep.
Kitty.
Jake, do you have any animals? Bring him in.
I have a cat. She does not play well with others.
Okay, meaning you.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, I love cats.
Yeah, she just hangs out and does her own thing.
My cat's affectionate like once every 10 days.
Yeah.
Hello, DK Moon. Welcome. Don't recognize that name. Hope you enjoy the show.
Hi.
Welcome.
So this is Tavern Talk. Normally we're doing a first-time reader show, but now we're just opening it up and having spoiler discussions with experts.
Without your spoilers. Ooh.
Yes. We are honestly telling everyone.
Not an expert.
No, these guys, hey, compared to us, man, whew.
Yeah, you guys are killing it. I do think that there has been dreams that we would call Teleranriad, and I think that there have been situations that we would probably refer to as dream spikes now. And I think
dream shards and dream spikes
or dream shards.
They're different.
Rather.
Yeah.
What?
Oh gosh.
Oh Lord.
The dream shards. Yeah. Yeah, and I do think that those are probably different, and I wonder if because Rand, when he gets a sunburnt face, but then wakes up and his face feels fine, maybe that was Teleranriad, but where he gets a splinter and his hand's bleeding, then that's the dream shard, perhaps.
I think you're thinking vice versa, because what happens in Teleranriad happens in real life.
Oh, okay, right on.
You can have a degree of it. Like I think. You don't necessarily have like the same level, Kat. No, you can't. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like University of Phoenix, you get a degree.
Guys, do we want to take a break now?
Yeah, let's do that.
Perfect.
I want to refill my coffee and give some of my coffee back to the toilet.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This will be the last time for this week. We're listening to a band called the Whatnots. This is our friend Kevin. He plays drums for bands I've been in and other projects, and they are great. So we're going to listen to them
hear them again if you heard them before. They're great.
Yeah, no, these are different songs, but yeah, so this will be another, we'll take about 10 minutes and should be back at, let's say,
mute my mic.
All right, 10 minutes. Yes, mute your mic, please, if you can. All you guys.
If you're not willing to forsake everything, let's call it a day, 'cause that's all it has been. I woke up this morning, I had this feeling, and I've been thinking about too much.
marginalized, all of my marginalized friends. But you are not one of them, you're all right. One of us will say that it's going their way, and it'll bitch now if it won't, 'cause waiting sucks. And it's written off, and it's written
You know, people don't understand that you gotta wait for the feedback to end. The song ends when the feedback ends.
Oh my god!
Man, well, no, I love it's such
I can't
clever
see you. Where'd you
songwriting.
go?
Man, I like that. I like that stuff. I love clever tempo changes, man, and they're chock
Oh, yeah.
full of them.
Yes.
Who is that again?
So that
Who's
band is
again?
called the Whatnots, and I'm
I like.
yeah
them.
the guitar player Phil. He plays with me with my project Homunculus Rex. The drummer Kevin, and then Eden Finday. She lives in Canada. You can actually find her just as Eden Finday, and she does amazing kind of protest music for Native Americans. She's now a Native American advocate in Canada. So, yeah, I've been blessed to be able to work with a lot of amazing musicians. And that band
Native
features
Americans
them.
in Canada, or
I mean, sorry, bro. Yeah, very good point.
Native
but thanks.
North
Hey,
Americans.
just wait. Hey,
First
we're
Peoples.
live, Dan. We're live.
The first people.
The first, yes, of course. Boom.
Yeah.
All right. So, man, there was literally like 50 messages during that 10-minute break. Can't even catch up to it. A lot of love going to you guys. Dana and Jake, you guys are killing it.
We love you too. Yes. We would.
You guys are awesome.
What would we be without our audience?
Of course. Of course. Feel free to be watching the chat also if you want.
I can't.
Oh, okay, yeah,
do
you're
that.
right. Okay. Okay, yes.
I've gotten
I'm
lost in the chat a couple
multitasking, but I am getting good at this. So,
I am not.
I'm not. I'm also
beautiful,
drinking
beautiful.
beers,
So, are you? So, Jake, after 90 minutes of your first show ever, how you feeling? It's been 90 minutes.
I
Time
know.
flies,
It's
right?
been 90 minutes. No, it's a lot of fun. I'm really.
We'll
enjoying it.
definitely do this again. I'm loving the camaraderie. I think we have a good connection.
And I want you guys to know that
Yeah.
that Jake is from just down the road from me. Yeah.
wow.
And we met through Discord. Like I actually
Yeah.
had seen him and recognized him from when he was younger because
What? You babysat
working
him?
at the school where he went to school as a senior. No,
Okay.
no.
Almost a teacher.
I did have
Close
his,
enough. Yeah.
I did have his younger brother in class.
Yeah.
But yeah, but we actually met through the Wheel of Time and through Discord. And it could have been anyone else, that I met around the world, but hey.
And
So,
here
yeah.
you are sharing a show now with us.
Yes.
This is show number
Oh, yeah,
2,
you can-
Dana. I think Dana's getting the hang of this. Yeah, so we did this on Sunday basically because Dana's got a small window of internet, and we were like, "Whoa, if we can get a show in with Dana during that window once a month, we're going to try our best." So you're either going to be on our first time reader show. We'll do this. I'm loving
I'm
this.
like, honey, hold off labor, please. Just breathe in. All right, Ryan,
Yeah.
let's go.
Oh, so is your puppy did your dog give birth to the puppies yet?
Yeah, my honey. Yeah. No, there's birds outside. No.
All right, so we're getting several comments about Jake is muted.
Yeah.
I'm getting a delay on Jake's audio. So you could back out and pop back in if you want. That sometimes help. Thanks for the feedback, everybody.
Guys,
Although that could have been 5 minutes ago, the way this chat slowly comes in, and it could have already resolved itself, and we're like,
yeah, who knows?
it's all
Who
good.
knows?
Hey, you guys see this glorious background art? I'm going to remove you. All right. That was a gratuitous tree love right there. And she did some more work on the painting. And
Oh, that's an update?
that's enough. Actually, let me see if I'll get a bigger version and show it on the big screen.
Yeah.
Let me do that. Yeah, so
I
that's
kinda
it.
like
She's
the big pops that you just bam, bam, bam. You out, you in, bam, you're out. All right, boom. I loved it.
I've been getting like aggressive and showing and like making and just like kicking people out of the stream if they are rude to me.
You have, yeah.
I've done-
You're right.
It's fun. I'm like, well, I guess I'm just gonna Wizard of Oz this shit. Boop.
Gonna go
Throws him in the penalty box.
right out.
He's like, you're in timeout.
You know what? When
talk to
Jake gets back, we have to like throw in like a random Bella.
Okay.
We haven't had a Bella appearance yet.
All right, so this is kind of this is the latest thumbnail for the Tavern Talk that I'm going to drop with Lauren soon, and you can see there's so much more detail. I was watching her. So this is so beautiful. Tree was doing this live on her Discord, so everyone, please go to the Treehouse of Fun, and she was basically listening to, I think it was Rage Against the Machine, and working on this. I muted her music and just watched her work.
Oh, what?
What? I was editing our podcast. I was doing my own stuff. But yeah, look at this, just glorious. This back to the left over here, it used to just kind of be a solid orange. I watched her make the door. I watched her over here. She has a fire pit. I watched her grab a real life image of a fire pot, kind of a cook pot over the fire, and kind of superimposed it and digitalized it. It was really cool. Never seen that process before. Very talented.
I watched her do cat portraits live, and there's my cat.
But how do you keep the cat from moving?
That's a good. That's a
Yeah, I think that's a little
that
suspect.
Camera. It's called a camera.
Oh yeah, okay. A portrait is like, hey, sit still, cat. I'm painting you.
Oh, turn your head
All
this
right,
way.
hey, cat. Yeah.
Actually, I think Tree's so good. She probably just
The cat whisperer.
All right, okay, guys. Jake's coming back. Okay, so I'm
You got it
ready.
right? All right,
Oh,
all right, we'll throw it in.
All right, do we want the Zydeco or do we want the techno? We want the classic techno. All right, so you just bring up anytime you want. You want to bring. Okay, I'll bring it. All right, anytime you bring up Bella, bam.
All right,
Okay.
cool.
Make it natural. All right,
Okay.
Yeah.
cut and. Jesus Christ again.
Reading
Oh,
it.
man.
Why is
sorry.
everyone reading?
Sorry.
We're trying to run a show here.
Yeah, well, he's doing his research because the next thing we want to talk about is some Elida business going on here.
Oh man, I'm embarrassed. I was asking if she was a dark friend. I know she's not. I don't know why I thought that. Like I know she's not. Like I know that's the whole point. She's just an epic B, but I get that.
And I love that RJ has, that he has some people who are not dark friends. Who are
Should be.
doing who actually do more for the side of the dark than some of the dark friends do, right?
Yeah.
And some of the Forsaken at times. So you have the White Cloaks specifically, and you have people who are misguided, like Elida, who are definitely working against our heroes. So I really, that's one of the things I appreciate about this storyline. I mean, about this story.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So Elida gets brought up because, of course, Rand met Elida when he went to
Fell behind the wall.
When he fell over the wall, and she's like, Elida, what does Elida have to do with this? And
Right.
so
Snap. What?
she was like, Elida?
Yeah, which is again like she's a master at. Okay, so is that her cracking in a way, or is she purposefully letting that into the room? Because it's like she's so controlled in every way. But all of a sudden she's like, what?
Well, I'm in the middle of New Spring on my current reread, and just got to the part where, like, Elida and Moraine just hate each other.
So it's just she broke a little bit, right? So that's her
she
like
broke a little bit.
slipping.
She's
Okay.
like, "Oh, that
it's
bitch?"
that deep, huh? Okay.
Well,
Did she sleep with her boyfriend or something? I forget the New Spring. I read it, and it's like literally in one ear, out the other. I almost don't even
Elida
believe I
was
read
a
it.
few years older and a little bit jealous of how fast her and Swan were progressing through, because they were just a little bit faster, just a little bit better than her. But Elida was a sister beforehand.
God damn. Now,
Well,
are there male characters who are jealous? I'm sorry. Is there any like male characters who are just epically jealous and like?
The Forsaken. Are jealous.
You're right.
Baron.
Okay, good point. Oh, but okay, you're right. Good point.
But yeah, so that's the only thing I really got, is that like they really don't like each other.
Okay.
But wouldn't we assume that Moraine would know that Elida was the advisor to Queen Morghese, may the light illuminate her?
Well, she knows that.
Yeah.
So that's like saying oh, so I ran into Dick Cheney, and they're like, wait, Dick Cheney? What? Or something like that. I mean, that's how I saw it. I mean, sure, they may have had some personal beef, but I think that reaction was like, wait a minute, how the hell why did you meet the royal advisor? And then he starts spilling about Morghese and Elaine and Gawain and such, but he doesn't do it. Elida comes out first. She goes, what? Elida? And I always thought it was because she's like, what the hell are you talking? She's like the Secretary of State or whatever.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, what is a shepherd doing in touch with her?
Correct.
So
yeah.
All right.
I mean,
What
no,
did you
she's
wanna-
fully
what did you wanna talk
justified.
about
Everything she
Elida?
points out, everything Elida points out is fully justified. I thought she was just lying through her teeth. I was in my memory, I was like, oh, this bee is a dark friend. And she's like, oh, I'm having a foretelling and let's lock this guy up. But she really was just lying through her teeth. But now I get it. She can't do that. She did have a foretelling. But so if you are a queen and you believe that these foretellings are real and you believe that there's no way that this woman can lie through her teeth, I'm really not cussing tonight. I'm doing this for you, Dana.
Yeah, you're doing great.
I know, I'm calling the same B. And so if you really believe this is happening, why the hell would Morghese allow him to leave? Like, she said the craziest shit. I mean, Tavern. Fuck Tavern. This whole Tavern.
Exactly.
It's the stupidest catch-all.
But a lot of that stuff she said just to Rand.
Just to Rand, yeah, under her breath to him.
Under her breath, and Rand is the only one that.
Oh, what?
Do you have that?
I thought she announced to.
Yeah.
I
She
thought
said
she
some
got
of
all.
that under her breath.
She's like, here, listen here.
I thought
motherfucker."
she said
She's
stuff
like,
in a
"You wanna
whisper
fuck
that was
with me?
meant to be heard.
I'll fucking tell everyone you're the fucking. I'm gonna go. Everybody, I'm having a foretelling. Listen, I'm gonna fuck you over. And this guy is a drag. I'm gonna. You think you're fucking bad? Is that what? That's what's going on.
Okay, this is what she says. Let me read it out to you. And this is and that's the. You guys didn't have much time for this chapter with Todd. You kind of just glossed right over it. And there's a lot of stuff going on in this chapter. So you didn't focus on it a whole lot, but she uses the word foretell with a capital F. And so this is using the talent of foretelling. And she uses that word
cannot lie.
multiple times. Okay.
And this I swear.
He says, this I foretell and swear under the light that I can say no clearer. From this day and or marches toward pain and division, the shadow has yet to darken to its blackest, and I cannot see if the light will come after. Where the world has wept one tear, it will weep thousands. This I foretell. And then a pall of silence clung to the room, and she continues to stare into Rand's eyes. And she spoke again, barely moving her lips so softly that he could barely hear her less than an arm's length away. This too I foretell, pain and division come to the whole world, and this man stands at the heart of it. I obey the queen and speak it clearly. So Rand is the only person who heard that.
Oh,
so
whoa! I never
Morghese
picked up
did
on
not
that.
hear it.
Nope.
Nobody else heard that.
So she was doing what I would do in middle school and pretend to not move my mouth and talk to the guy next to me. Like, oh, I'm just gonna. Did you see what she was wearing over
what's
there?
the answer to number 4? Is it
One time I had a teacher go, Ryan, if you talk while not moving your mouth, it's not working. Like, she totally called me out on that exact technique. I guess I wasn't good at it.
I've gotten great at it, as you can see now.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
Right.
Jeez,
Wow.
There's
That is
barely
really
any
good.
movement at all.
Barely. Like maybe just a few more months of practice and you got it.
I'm going to drink some water,
Yeah.
and
You
I
could
can
be
still
such a
talk when
great-
I'm drinking water. It's so funny.
Is that true?
It is.
You could be such a great ventriloquist. Can you imagine if do you think you could throw your voice to, like, say, Bella?
Say what
I
now?
mean, if Bella was there, do you think that you could throw your voice to Bella and make it look like
All
Bella
right,
was
yeah, I'm
talking
going
All right,
to
you got it, Dan?
3, 2, 1.
One. That
Oh my
was
God,
really
Jake's my
good.
new favorite friend. Jake was doing that the whole time. I love Jake.
Jake
Holy
is-
crap. Jake rocks harder than anyone I've ever seen.
Jake is a good kid.
Oh. That's awesome.
Love you too.
That's amazing.
That was just the best thing. So no one can see what happens backstage during that song, but every time there's a row of people dancing, and it makes me happy every time.
Yes. Okay, so
Have you heard that before, Jake?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
and I always do that too.
Yes.
It wasn't just for
Oh,
here
yes.
and now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shancy, you're right. Yeah, I'm like, I'm 6'7" in real life, and I seriously can walk in a crowd and pretend I'm hiding, and like I can't. I literally cannot. But people have come and are like, Ryan, like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just trying not to be.
Trying to blend in.
Yeah, I'm just whatever. As I'm hitting my head on everything, like I'm walking under. But
Wait, how tall are you?
6'7".
And how about you, Dan?
I was 6'5".
Wow, you're
6'4" and a
if you
half.
had-
But
Gigantics.
If you had his hair color, you could totally be Aiel, and he would be your little Aiel brother.
I would love it. I would take you on. We would go. We'd go to the movies together. We'd play basketball, and I'd let you win.
10.
All right, you're right. Okay.
Yes, Chancey. Yeah, literally 6'7" puppets. Do you realize how much arm strength and dexterity it takes to get up here?
So much felt.
Oh, you should go to Carnival in Barcelona. They got enormous puppets.
Yeah, you would, NK.
Okay, Jake, you're getting some love from the chat. I don't even know what this is referencing to. Jake, I would. Cute guy.
I would.
I'm blushing now.
Yeah. Art, I would what? I love the dots. All right.
Hey,
Okay.
Art, you up?
So,
All right.
so Jake,
I would come up to you their crotches. Yes. Thank you, MK.
Hey.
Thank you, MK.
all right. So, Elida and Logain. Where do we want to go with this?
All right, so
It's not really so much Elida, but more of Logain. Some stuff that I got.
Okay, go for it.
And it goes back to Rand telling Moraine about his dreams and the names that were mentioned to him, and the ones that he said to Moraine and the one that he did not.
Do you two remember this, Dan and Ryan?
yeah, so he goes, he goes like he says, Rowling Darksbane, and then
Urian
Strongbow, but he doesn't mention Logain, right? He specifically leaves out Logain. Yeah,
He specifically leaves out Logain. And excuse me, Balzamon tells Rand that the Aes Sedai were using them, setting them up as false dragons. And a rumor that gets started later on by Swan Sanche that the Red Sisters set up Logain as a false dragon just to take him down. So was that actually a rumor, or did Swan know about that as the Amarylline seat? Or did she just make it up and it just so happened to be true? Or
Is it
all of
just
it a lie?
What do you guys think? We want to know. You're our relatively new readers. What's your take on this?
I do question how much communication the Amarylline seat has with, say, Moraine or Elida. I guess with Elida there'd be more and whatnot, but we do have a man who can channel. And you would, so and I was wondering as well why he was going to like march to Tyr with his army, but I assume now that it was going to be, he was trying to fulfill the prophecy, right?
Get Kalendor.
You're right. I don't know how people learn these prophecies if it's not from an Aes Sedai.
Well, I mean, Tom
but
knows.
I don't know.
Tom
I'm sorry?
knows, and Tom knows, and he goes around telling the stories.
Yeah,
he knows
because,
about Kalendor. He knows
the Creathon cycle is actually like, it's told in like high chant.
yeah.
Okay.
Didn't we do
It's
a little
not-
high chant Corinthian cycle on a live show, Dan?
You want to bring it?
No, we're not ready. Go. No. This is classy. We're classy AF.
I was
Classing it up for no. So yeah, we should call this like instead of Tavern Talk, we should call it like Chateau
Wine bar.
Talk. Yeah. Like
A wine bar. maybe I don't know, patio. I don't know what we're talking. I don't know.
All right,
some
so
fancy place where people drink and they don't get and they don't puke
I
on
didn't
themselves.
actually describe the place. We walk in and there's a whole lot of wrought iron. There's like lights twinkling on our patio.
Yes.
There's really small tables, and this is way out of like COVID realm, and we are crammed around like a little four-top. And there's they keep bringing us like tapas. They brought us just like they just brought a little plated paella for us, and we all just divided it out. Gosh, we're having a great time here. It is called the Slippery Salamander.
Oh dear. I like it.
That's most definitely a classy AF name.
Yeah.
There's a guy who's playing like little jazzy versions of Beatles songs in the corner too.
See,
on a
I thought
guitar.
it'd be jazzy versions of like hip hop songs.
It could. Okay. So this guy's over in the corner playing like these little jazzy versions of like Beastie Boys songs.
Nice.
And I think LL Cool J.
Okay.
For sure.
It's old school.
This is 1994.
Yeah.
No, but his retro is actually part of his charm.
Gotcha. I love it. I go there every night.
There's fire pits. Yeah, it's cool.
So yeah, I just want to point out, like I mentioned height. Now this is like 10 minutes of height talk. You guys, it's really like we have no say over this shit. It's like the most like whatever. It's like anyway, just kidding.
I love the little scene.
Let's talk about the poetry we wrote today. What did you make? And how's your child? Fucking, anyway, just kidding.
What?
Just kidding. Wait, what's happening here? How do we get on top? Boom.
How do we get on top? Yeah, there we go.
Blasphemy.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So did you have
your
anything more
question,
you wanted to say about low gain, and where do you fall on this? Do you think that the Black/Red sisters really did find low gain and put him up to getting an army together and fomenting all this unrest because that would help make confusion in the world, and it would also be something that would be like people be like, hey, we need the Red Sisters. We need the Aes Sedai because we have these men who can channel. We need the Aes Sedai because we have these men who can channel, and we need them to save us. I mean, the White Cloaks try to do that later. Yep. They want to do the same thing, set the lion loose and then save the people from the lion. So
I had not thought about the Aes Sedai angle. The way I always empathize with Logain, and I'm like, okay, let's say you're a guy who is freaking magical, okay, and
everyone wants to be with him, and he could just get any girl he wants.
The pattern spits out false dragons, as we are told.
Yeah.
But if you're like a magical guy, you think, hey, I'm probably the dragon, right? I mean, if I hear these stories, I could probably. Why the hell wouldn't I be the dragon? I'm a good guy. I got a good heart. I'm Logain the Great, or whatever. So I always empathize with false dragons, except for that guy who couldn't channel. I think it was Urian Stonebow or Strongbow. That dude couldn't even channel. And they executed him and put his head on a pike outside of the city. But so I always felt bad kind of for the false dragons. I don't think it's their fault. I never really thought of the Aes Sedai angle as much as just trying to be like, all right, they all are Rand except for Rand actually isn't false, but he very well could have been and been thrown in a freaking cart and rolled down. And let's say, who's to say that Logain wasn't the real dragon until he got caught, and then and then we gotta just do the. I mean,
But
I'm just playing
born
around,
on
but
the Dragon Mount. You know what I mean?
right,
So-
right.
Okay, we have a question coming in.
And this is actually a beautiful question. Our
a
new
good
friend
from
Al-
Alcoholic.
Alcoholic. So yes, he is addicted to alternative. Let's say needlepoint. He's addicted to alternative needlepoint. I have a question for the panel. Just what did the Black Aja / Shadow Pals all work towards before the Dragon Reborn needed to be found? Yeah, good question.
Sowing discourse, I would assume.
Trying to
Because
collect angry
the-
owls
well-
and stuff.
That, yeah, good point. Well, they're working on Ishmael's orders because he kind of organized them a couple thousand years prior.
Yep.
And so, yeah, his prerogative, honestly, kind of whatever he set them to. And that dude, he's got some thoughts.
I mean, within, like, for instance, within the White Tower, you have the Ajas, and I think the fact that they're so divided and against each other, that's one of the things that he's trying to do to keep the White Tower from being strong as a whole. And you never know what they were doing in all these different countries, as far as undermining various things, keeping countries from working with each other, getting important people in key positions. I mean, like Lord Barthanes, getting him to their side. So there are lots of things that they could be doing just to make sure that everywhere in the world they had important people in positions of power. And the more people that they could get to follow the Dark One, then the more power shifts in that direction. Which is why I think as the Dark One, they got more power, the Dark One got more power, and you had to start the pattern had to start shifting and pulling things the other direction so that it could balance itself. And that's why we started getting maybe the blood of Manetheren, and more souls who could channel started getting put into people with bodies that could channel. And maybe
you get like people like Huron, right? The sniffer.
Yeah, people like Huron and all these other things. And,
Pater.
Pater.
Well, we had.
I thought of something just now, actually. When the Red Sisters, mostly the Black Aja, was hunting down and killing men that could channel on the spot without actually like bringing them to Tarvalin to be tried and stilled or gentled or whatever, which is what happened to Tom's nephew.
Yes.
So that is most definitely something canon that the Black Aja was doing.
Yep.
So,
yes.
Okay, all right. I'm not going to get too dark here, but do you think that the White Tower had a breeding program?
I don't.
No.
This
But
is
no,
a
but
genetic thing.
why
If we're
didn't they,
just
though?
wiping out all the male channelers, we are wiping out just a genetic carrying situation.
Why didn't they? Because I think they realized too late that they were culling the herd.
Yep.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
Yep. And I think they were very set in their traditions and in their ways, and it became tradition for them to not have children. Now, try to imagine that you are someone who is going to outlive your spouse. You're going to outlive, because you're not going to be with a man who can channel, so who's going to have a long life as well. So you're going to outlive your spouse. You're going to outlive your children and your grandchildren and their grandchildren. And I could see that being very painful. There is an Aes Sedai who has all these little figurines of her members of her family.
Yeah.
So I could see why they would shy away from that initially, and then it just became tradition for them not to be married. So
I Okay, to your point then, we do have these Aes Sedai that live hundreds of years.
Yes.
We have warders that are not magical humans that are given this bond. Does this bond extend their life for hundreds of years? Or because we hear
I
that
don't
when
think
a
they
No,
warder
they're
dies,
expendable.
when a warder dies, the Aes Sedai is shattered. That bond has a deep, deep effect. So, how long do warders live?
Well, I think their health stays good for a very long time. However, you do know that the bond can be released by
Upon
the Aes
death,
Sedai.
right?
No. The bond can be. The bond is severed upon death. It can be released by the Aes Sedai at any time, not just passed to another Aes Sedai, as we see with Morel and Lan and Nynaeve, but it can
so
be,
they just drop them at the end?
Yes. Right. So
Well,
they're like,
If that's the case, then why didn't Alana do that at the very end?
they have to be in the same, I think they probably have to be in the same location. That's my guess, that they actually have to be,
Physically there to.
physically there. And somebody else, I'm very foggy on the last 7 books. So when Varen is at the end of her life, I think she does she release her warder before the hour of her death? I don't know this. So, but it is something you can be released.
Tomas.
You can be released from the warder bond. And
Okay.
Moiraine sells land. Hey, if it chafes too much, I can let you go, but you have to ask for it, basically, because if your bond is chafing so much, after all these years, then she could have let him go. But
Well, then we're never going to get
Oh.
along.
You'd imagine there's like a powder for that. You don't got to be all drastic in like releasing bonds.
Gold
Just
bond.
What would the
chafing.
name
Gold
of that
bond
powder
powder.
be?
Yeah. No, I mean, like, water gold bond. Hello, it writes itself.
With the chain.
Come on.
Chancey, are you proud of that one? You better be proud of that one. I just came up with boom. All right, everyone. Chancey is going to be on our show. Also, when we return after the break, she will be our guest on December 3rd. It is confirmed, and we will pair her up with someone
that's gonna
special
be
as
so much
well.
fun.
It'll look a lot like this. Yeah, and it'll be great fun. It'll be great fun.
For some fire.
Everyone just wants their own 8-second song, I think.
I just want Chancey on the show. So
Me too.
however you get her on the show, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, no, I'm bribing.
Yeah,
people
maybe
with
let
8-second
us
songs.
know in the chat who else you think we could invite for these special events. So yeah, we the way we're doing it is we get guests. If they want to participate with Todd, they do that. If they want to just do this type of event, we'll just do a Tavern Talk. So yeah, let us know who you want to be guests on our show. But go on, guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm so stoked. I can't wait. That's going to be so fun. Chastity is great.
Well, there was something that you talked about with Malkier Talks. That you talked about, and I don't want to get too deeply into this, but I did notice in chapters 42 and 43 from this week that we do have talk of choice, and you were talking about like predestination and choice, and how much control does the pattern have, how much choice does a person have, and I honed in on a few things that I just wanted to read. So let me see. Okay, so Moiraine is talking about, this is when when Loyal Forces first says, they're all Tavern. Right?
Nice. Nice.
And so
That's a good loyal.
and so that's when she's like 3 of them, why didn't I see this before? And so then she starts talking about the pattern.
And what is the pattern?
Good, Ryan. Well done.
Yes. So she says, for a time, the pattern does seem to be swirling around all three of you, just as Loyal says. And the swirl will grow greater before it becomes less. Sometimes being Tavern means the pattern is forced to bend to you. And sometimes it means the pattern forces you to the needed path. The web can still be woven many ways, and some of those designs would be disastrous for you, for the world. So there's not just one way. It kind of is pulled them in to a central pattern, to central things going on, but they still have choices. That's how I read this, and some of their choices could be disastrous. And so then let me read something else.
Who said that quote that you just said?
Moiraine.
Okay.
And then that's in chapter 42. In chapter 43, she says, what seems like chance is often the pattern. 3 threads have come together here, each giving a warning about the eye. Okay. And then she said, you 3 did not choose. You were chosen by the pattern, and you are here where the danger is known. So it's kind of like the pattern has pulled them in and brought these bits of information to them, to their awareness, as this web builds itself around them. You can step aside and perhaps doom the world. So they can make a choice, but their choice could be disastrous. Now, Jake and I were talking about this, and Jake, I like what you said about who they are and how that informs their choice. They can choose to walk away, not go to the eye, not step up as the pattern needs them. But being who they are, from the way they're brought up.
And also, yeah, because that's how Tam brought Rand up, circling it back around.
Well, okay,
and also,
so
would the pattern have chosen them out if they weren't those type of people?
Well, okay, so the wheel weaves is the wheel wills, which I always hated. I still hate. Sally sells seashells by the seashell. All right, so and human lives are what it threads, right?
Threads
so
in the
right,
pattern,
yeah. So and then there. So what? Okay, so what does that mean? So like, we have mentions of like, again, like there's this conversation I thought was very important. It's in book 3 and it's Varen and Sanche, and she's giving a recap of everything, and she's telling Swan about the different false dragons that have been found, and she mentions that one of them got assassinated and this other guy blah blah blah, and then something, and then she says, oh, I'm not surprised they're dead. The pattern has no need for them anymore.
Yes.
Right. So like,
and the pattern stopped sending out false dragons.
But it's more. But it's more.
Well,
but it's also.
yeah,
I mean, like, but
the protection though, right?
But like, if the pattern needed them, then somehow nothing's gonna kill it.
Yeah. Maybe.
Like, how does the pattern protect someone? Like, if he falls off a cliff, does the pattern go, whoa, hey, buddy, and pick you up and throw you back? Like, how does the pattern...
Or it's an invisible wall. When he goes to step, it's like he just gets pulled back.
Yeah. Well, great questions.
I do have a question. So Moiraine, although she says that choices can be disastrous, she does seem pretty resigned to all these weird things as far as companions-wise, and goes, well... Yep. The wheel weaves as the wheel wills. All right, fine. Egwene, go ahead and come. Fine. Tom Maryland, go ahead and come. Fine, Nynaeve, fine.
Loyal,
Loyal is
Bail later on, like,
and I mean, and so she's like, the only reason Loyal becomes advantageous is because of the ways. But if they were to walk from Caemlyn to Tar Valon, this would not be good for them to have Loyal in their party. He's a 10-foot monster. everyone thinks he's a Trolloc. And these are people in a sophisticated city. What do you think these villagers are going to do? You come to an inn and you have a 10-foot Trolloc with you. I mean, but it's an Ogier. But these bumpkins don't know, man.
Well,
everyone thinks he's a Trolloc.
That always struck me as a little odd because, like, Camelin is an ogre-built city.
Right.
Right? Like, how did those in the streets, like, was it the White Cloaks just riling them up? Like, making Loyal stay in the inn so Rand could meet him and hang out and get to know him? Like, is that
the question I have? How long did Loyal stay in that inn? Was he there for months?
I actually don't know the answer to that question.
Me neither.
Is he like Hemingway in Paris, where he just stays in a hotel for like 4 months and just lounges and writes?
I think it is mentioned how many days. I think it might be mentioned how many days he was there before and just sitting in that room for a while. So I think it in the recent years, like in the last 20 years or something, there have been fewer and fewer Ogier out in the world.
Correct.
And
that's my thought as well.
There are people who know who Ogier are, but later on their travels, there are places that are like, oh, we haven't had an Ogier stay at our inn in so long. Here, we have this Ogier room. Come stay. We have all this Ogier furniture, and poor Loyal usually has to run away before the night is over. He can't actually sleep in the Ogier-sized beds.
But Tarvalon is, and the surrounding area there is very metropolitan. They have Ogier builders that show up periodically, so it isn't. Right. We fear what we don't understand, and
the grove at Tarvalon is still intact too.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So here's my new idea. Been working this out. What if Tavern is the only people who have any semblance of free will, and everyone around them is in a predetermined world? And that is what the essence of. But so they have free will, and they're and there's also this whole will magic thing I want to get into. I remember seeing on the Dusty Wheel someone talking about he broke down the magic system and brought up will magic and brought up Pattern Fane as an example of someone who was able to level themselves up through sheer force of will. So we'll get into that later, but and I also think like Egwene kind of demonstrates that will magic. So we have this like Tavern are possibly the only ones who have free will, and they are able to impact the world around them, but that's the only extent that it is, right? Like they can make their choices and some other impacting others and changing their behavior to suit their will, but actually each time Rand, Matt, and Perrin are doing something, it is an expression of free will, but all the other people are just like minion, just like lemmings doing whatever the pattern wants them to do.
What do you think, Jake?
I mean, I can see it because you've got this farmer out here that all he's going to do is wake up every morning, do his job, and go to bed that night. And he's most definitely not Taviran. He doesn't have a choice in the world. He has to tend these crops, and that's it. Now, if something comes along,
go do something else.
If something comes along, and by something I mean like he becomes Taviran, he gets chosen to be Taviran, then he can do that. Rand, his whole life, he's gonna shear sheep and grow tobacco. Something came along, forced him to be Taviran, and now he's on this grand adventure. Perrin he's gonna be a blacksmith his whole life. Something comes along, Taviran, grand adventure.
Yeah, I like to
Matt's
think that
milk his Da's cows.
Well, to challenge that a little bit though, I like to think that someone like Almond Bunt, who picks up the boys, didn't do so because the pattern directed him to do so necessarily. I like to think that he was a good guy and did the right thing for two kids who need a ride. Stuff like that. It's hard to just say, well, it's all Tavern, because most of the people who help him out are like decent dudes. And the ones that don't are like grumpy grumpers.
Yep. To that point right there, well, first of all, we have...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We have it stated.
All right, I'm sorry.
You know what?
Jesus Christ. Does Tavern have a... Okay, first off, why isn't it Tavern? Why isn't it Tavern? Where is this? Why is it... Everyone just says Tavern. It's like... All right, anyways, I always read it as Tavern with a little huh in it. But then, now she actually follows up immediately with... It means plot device in the old tongue, Rob. Unreal! I can't wait to have you on the show.
Yeah,
Unreal.
Yeah. So anyway,
I thought I was the funniest person in the world, but seriously, Chastity is just killing me.
Chastity is for sure.
She's a master of the language, and just.
I mean, it's not fair. She's AI.
Phrases on. Well,
she thinks faster than us.
That's true.
I mean, like I'm flesh and blood. I'm flesh and blood. Put myself out there. You're just sitting there like plugging in.
How
You're
much
like,
was
hey,
that
tell me a
upgrade?
funny joke, Google.
How much was that upgrade, Ryan? Because I'm not flesh and blood at all. Did you get the Puppet 2.0 that comes with like real blood and flesh and stuff? Golly, that's awesome.
He's like,
Amazon's amazing. Yeah. I think, come on, your nose is growing. Come on, your nose is growing. Tell a lie. Go ahead, tell a lie.
Yeah, no, I was lying to everyone. Yeah, you just called me out. Yeah, I'm a liar.
Okay. So back to what we were talking about.
Thank you, Zuul. Thank you.
So, we have it told at, I think, more than one time.
All right, here we go. The dusty wheel comes in and says, Tavron is a switch. The wheel turns on and off. All right.
Ooh.
Yeah, so sometimes that switch is on for a person, and sometimes it's off.
Okay,
we need some strong pull in the pattern, so we're going to switch it on for this soul.
I really want to know what the Dusty Wheel's opinion about free will and Radland is.
Well, then you need to have him on as a guest.
Yeah, you're right. Come on, Dana. Yeah, I want to know your opinion, Dana.
Got it. You're right. You're right.
All right, so I think
it's a big question.
What we have here that the people who are Taviran are actually held tighter in the pattern than everyone else. They actually have less free will. It's kind of like they're forced into these more narrow lanes. They have choice in between those, but they're kind of forced more tightly in, and as well as pulling the people around them in. So let's say Almond Bunt, regular dude, he's a good guy. You know, he sees these kids and he's like, okay, this innkeeper dude is so full of it and he's a jerk. I don't like him and I don't believe what he's saying about these kids. They're just kids. And so he gives them a ride. But I think at that point he gets pulled into Tavern, and when he is the one who takes them to Camelin. Isn't that correct? The apple farmer dude. So at this point he like so many other people like Else Grinwell and other people, Gawain, Elaine, get pulled into that Tavern web of destiny that is the age lace that's being woven around the Tavern, and his life, and Baeldoman and other people whose lives just get pulled in and keep being pulled back into the weave at various points. I think that's why we see various people over and over and over again. So they get pulled in. Now their lives have a little less choice. They're narrow, and now they've been made important to the pattern, to the Tavern, to what the Tavern need at various points, so that when they get close to where the Tavern are, they get pulled back in, and it changes the courses of Almond Bunt's life. Doesn't he then decide to declare for the Queen? Later, we see him after Rand's Dragonmount moment when he becomes, like Jesus Rand or whatever.
Yeah, he sees the storm coming, right, or something.
And so we see him again, and then his apple blossoms, his apple fields or whatever apple trees get.
Well, immediately, but like right before that, there's like a famine in his orchard, and then Rand walks through, and everything blooms.
Just blooms.
Yeah, so there's that influence, but there's this other influence, and this is what the part that I get hung up on. Loyal left 3 years ago.
Yep.
Lan and Moraine left 20 years ago, and they found them the day of the Trolloc attack. I mean, like the amount of chance. If there is chance, like I don't believe there. Like, how could there be any? Like, how could that just not be a 20-year long, like destined? Like, they had to be there at that moment. They had to be there.
I kind of assumed that there was like an interception of intel, like from Padden Fane or from Moraine by either of those two, and so that's how they ended up in the same town in the same time.
So you think it's a coincidence?
Like Moraine and Padden Fane were following the same trails.
Okay.
Right, but Loyal was key to their escape.
But I mean, also Lan said, "Wow, the only reason not a lot of people died is because this is winter night. This is bell time. They don't know that."
I think that's the wheel. I think that's the pattern. I think.
But so what is that influence? How is it literally like taking people's lives step by step by step? And how are we saying that? I mean, so is it only happening when it has to be involving Tavern, or is it literally happening with everybody? That the pattern is step by step, making sure that you are where you need to be. You think you're
the $1 million question.
We only okay. Go ahead, and then I'll say what I have to say.
Is the pattern sentient?
Well, I thought the pattern is supposed to be considered like the biggest supercomputer ever, right?
Balance. I don't think it's sentient.
But it's not balance because the light like wins completely.
And is destined to always win, it seems, because this third age has happened over and over and over again. The Dark One has never won.
The pattern needs to keep going, and the pattern is self-serving. It needs to keep going, and if the Dark One ever wins, the wheel breaks. Time ends.
Is that a possibility?
Do we know that though?
So then why have the Dark One period? Like if you're the wheel, the pattern, then write it out.
Okay, well, why does
I guess Rand did see that in his vision or whatever.
Exactly. Rand sees that. And so he has his choice that he makes, and he says, okay, we need choice. We need good and evil in order to have so people can have choice. Right? So you have to have both, and it has to have this pendulum swing. If you think of the flicker, 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 if you think of the flicker, flicker, flicker that they go through and all the different possibilities, Rand sees if different choices had been made along the way, he could have ended up in all these different lives. One thing happens. Moraine doesn't make it there. He dies early. He dies old. There's all these different scenarios that could have played out.
Is that what I mean? Is that what is that what we saw? Is it literally? Oh, this is your choices could have been different. So this, or is it saying that we are running on parallel lines and we are in a multiverse? And all of these lives are in a pre-programmed, predetermined route, and they're all parallel, and we're in a parallel universe. That's
and
what I
they're
thought.
all true, and
they're all true.
Happen. Yeah,
right.
Well, that is a thing also.
But are they all predetermined? I don't think so. I think in different ones, people make different decisions. Various people make different decisions in different ones. And so...
Yeah, like Rand drops the tea kettle in one of them, and in our story, he like slams him in the face with it.
Yeah. So
right.
I don't think all of those little decisions are predetermined. I think that some of those decisions make a bigger difference than others. And maybe this is the prime world, and this is the one that has to be the one that where Rand makes the right decisions and everybody else is there for him and backing him up. I don't know.
Yeah,
These are
that's
all
always
great questions.
that's always the thought I have is whether because this third age has always come and will always come, are we just being narcissistic to think that Rand was some special, or was the third age always going to end with the dragon making this choice? We don't really know. We know that the first age, the humans are always going to go to the moon. It may be different circumstances around it. It might be a different date, different people, but we're always going to go to the moon. We're always going to do hit these certain milestones. And the fact that the third age has always happened and the Dark One still has not broken the wheel makes me think that Rand's choice was probably the choice that every other dragon had in this third age, and thinks that he made the right choice, and he did, but didn't have really a choice per se. It was always destined for him to allow the Dark One to continue on.
Maybe.
So I mean, so and if that's the case, like, and it's really interesting and glad Badger Reborn isn't watching, or I mean, Ian, the Honey Badger, he said that he felt. What's
Honey
that?
Badger. If
He
you
can't
are
be watching this. No, he can't be
Yeah,
watching this.
if he's
No.
watching this, he's.
Oh no! This is all spoilers.
Yeah, you know,
And by
he's
the way,
definitely not
yes,
watching it, but
MK
he said a sentiment that I have been carrying around recently is he goes, man, this would be a real big bummer if this is just one more turning of the wheel. He goes, I really want there to be something really special about this one. And he was just saying this on our show recently, and it really I hit me because that's how I'm conceiving of this right now as I'm putting it all together. It's like, it's not enough for this to just be like, oh, well, this is just one of many, right? I feel like, you know, there's something really transcendent about like what Rand was able to do. And I think, you know, that moment when he goes out of the pattern and rips Mord in, like, I don't know if that's ever happened in any of the turnings, or right? I think that's a very unique.
Either.
Yeah. So like,
is this the last turning?
Well, I mean, he could like. I think this
opinion.
I think this is the only
It's just this
moment
episode.
that it could have been. Like it was the precipice, like the one time ever. The Dark One can never do it. The Dark One is a puny little fuck. He sees that. He's like, oh, you're nothing. Actually, you're like a little sorrowful thing. He goes, no, like he was all love, and at that moment he could have wiped everything off and stopped the entire thing, and you and I would never have met. But
would the pattern have allowed that though?
No, I believe he did. He stepped out. I mean, yeah. So like, I believe he could have. Like, this is my whole thing. I think at that moment he was the first of all the incarnations of the dragon to have like leveled up enough, right? And how do you level up to be that great? Is because you have Tam as your dad, because Tam's like the mother. He's the best, right? So none of these other dragons had a Tam dad. And I think so. Like, I think that's why Tam saved us all, man. He made, right?
I like it.
Anyways,
I like
that's
it.
my whole. Yeah, so
That's
And
right there.
the father
Yeah,
of us all.
yeah.
Okay, in this talk of
So
the pattern.
if Rand,
and everything,
sorry, Dana, if Rand is Jesus, is Tam God?
No, Tam is
Joseph.
Joseph.
He's the one who brought him up.
Yeah.
Who raised him in his human life to prepare him for what he had to do. Brought
Fair
him up in
enough.
the way he should go. Okay?
Maybe he
You know
was
more
John the
about that than I do.
Baptist. He kind of set him on his path.
Okay, so in this talk of pattern and Tavern and all of this, I want to talk about the fact that we never get a POV from Egwene in all of this, the first book. Yet she ends up being so important to the story, and we have you guys picked up on some of the foreshadowing of her for Amerlin and other things that she does?
Oh yeah, she specifically, you know, Moraine says to her, you're stronger than anyone. You could possibly be Amerlin. Yeah, definitely. Says it to her face.
Well, I think it's chapter 43, when they've had the decision to go into the ways, and Rand said, but Nynaeve and Egwene don't need to go, and Moraine says, you have choice. So
They didn't have a choice.
and And so
I'm with you.
Egwene goes and talks to Rand. And
Hi,
she
Timothy.
said, I'm not Tavern, but the pattern sends me to the eye of the world too, it seems. Whatever involves you involves me. And this time that I read it, that really hit me because we had to have her and Rand. We had to have her going and playing the part that she played, or everything Rand did would have been for naught. Right?
That's interesting. Yeah, I always read it as her being snarky. I always read it as her being like, apparently the pattern has me in this as well, because wherever you go, I go.
Yeah, because because she said, yeah, like that, didn't Min have a viewing of her? And she's like, yeah, apparently Min has a viewing of me. So I think she's just kind of resigning herself to it. Like, I thought that was almost like a kind of like a country bumpkin just believing. My original reading was, wow, like they just are so manipulatable. Like, like Moraine is able to get them to just believe, like, hey, you got to jump on this cause because the pattern says so. It's like, well, they're like, I guess I'm gonna sacrifice my life. I'm gonna go to the Trollocs. I have to.
What have they seen so far? Individually, they've all seen things and experienced things and never would have dreamed that they would have. And they've seen how they've been pursued and all kinds of stuff happening to them. And so I think I would be believing at that point as well. But what I'm trying to get out here is as a reread, I really, really appreciate what is that the door?
No, my bad.
Closing?
No, that was a mistake.
Is this last call?
No, we're doing good.
Locking up?
No.
Come on, we're talking here.
No, just a technical error. I was like, oh man, no, don't close the door, minions. Dang it, minions. You're off the schedule.
I know the owner.
I fired him
real fast.
All right. You go handle that.
Okay, we're good. We can.
Okay, good. All right. So I really love how RJ sets up Egwene's arc from the beginning. I mean, we have the story of, the Weep for Manetheren story and Eldrine.
Yes.
And what Eldrine does with the power and how vital that was to ending all of the dark minions who were there at that moment. And for me, that is heavy foreshadowing for Egwene and the Flame of Tarvalon at the last battle, and what she does to save the people. So, yay! I'm looking forward.
Yeah, we talked about it at length. I told everyone how nervous we are. Don't tell. I was like, don't tell Matt. We're really nervous.
Hey, it's gonna be fun.
So I want to know: do either of you think that Egwene is possibly the soul of Eldrine from Manetheren reborn? I mean, she definitely has the old blood. She can, how Matt has the old blood of Manetheren, and he has some of the old tongue. Well, she can just almost understand.
Yeah, she's like, I thought I could understand it just a little bit. Yeah. So, I only have been recently introduced to that as a concept, and it makes a whole hell of a lot of sense, especially exactly they had a parallel death scene. But I also just originally would have read that as just like poetic. Right? If I wasn't reading, my original read through, things like that, I always just thought were like, wow, that's really poetic how he tied that together. Like what a narrative arc, like how cool is that? Like to think that, we know that the Dark One can reincarnate souls, which is how do we even explain that? So why it doesn't? Yeah,
and just throw them in grown-ass bodies.
So it serves.
Those are souls that he has control of.
Where
Is
do
it-
bodies come from?
I
though?
think it is. I think it's just people who've.
Are they
swarmed it.
dark friends?
Yeah.
Or is it just the pattern just trying? Wait. How about this? Is it the same soul, or is it just the pattern like trying again? You're like, well, like
redo.
they needed some woman with all these characteristics to do kind of this thing and blah blah, and then put her in, and then later on he's like, oh, it looks like shit's going down. Let me put the Egwin character in. Like, is that? I mean, like, I mean, so the idea that they're threading souls in, is it really a reincarnation thing we're talking about, or is it just specific?
I mean, that's what happens with Rand, right?
Well, is everyone getting reincarnated all the time, or is
There's
it?
a soul pool. There is a pool of souls that go out and get put back into bodies, and the ones that the Dark One of the Forsaken, that when the Dark One can't can't reincarnate or bring back one of the Forsaken, when they're balefired, it's kind of like because he can't catch that soul at the moment of their death. It's like too much of that has been burned back, so that soul goes back into the soul pool, and he can't grab that soul right at that moment of death because of balefire. But otherwise, he can pull them back in and force them into a body. Okay, what is this saying? Ishamael claims that the Dark One has intercepted the soul of Yelena Sunhair. Was that a lie, or was she a dark friend? Oh, Ishamael's a big fat liar.
Good, definitive,
No, that's me. That's
asked
just
and
me.
answered.
Yeah, that is just me talking. I don't know for sure, but I think he's a big fat liar. I think he lies about a lot of stuff. So, you know what?
All right, so I mean, so taking that into consideration, prologue.
Yeah.
When he
What about
tells Luce Theron that he goes, oh, don't say that name, it's dangerous. And he's like, oh, dangerous for you, but not for me. Is he just promulgating a lie? I thought, or is he telling a metaphysical truth?
Here's the thing. Some of the most effective lies are very heavily based in truth. If you say 90% of the things, like if 90% of the things you say are true, and you just put in a couple of key lies, those lies are going to sell because of all the truth you've used. So I don't think everything he says is a lie. I think he uses some lies, and that's one of the things that makes it so difficult, is to, how do you parse out like what's a lie and what's not.
And so when they were telling Moraine about the dreams, the first thing she says is Father of Lies is a good name for him.
Yeah.
But I thought he was telling them a bunch of stuff we need to know.
Right.
What part of what he was saying is a lie?
Well,
she confirms a lot of it. Deny him, like all the things all the threats. I mean, like it's so weird. Like what part of that was? Anyways, yeah, I thought that was really interesting that she kind of threw that out there, but didn't specify.
Well, because she's saying that just because he says that the Aes Sedai or the White Tower use these all these dragons as, prop them up as false dragons, doesn't make it true. Now, it's part of that whole unreliable narrator thing. We don't know, and there's nothing that, because we don't see it happen, there's nothing that we can know for certain.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Zuul, to get back to your Egwin question, as far as her being a reincarnation of this person, I think that I picked up on my favorite scene with Egwin isn't the end when she does the Flame of Tarvalon. It's when she's defending the White Tower against the Shanshan. And she is all fork-rooted out. She's all weeded out. She's like, oh, I can't fucking do anything. And she rallies all the novices and accepts it and goes, come with me, and forms a quick circle and then starts blasting Tarakan out of the sky. That does mirror somewhat what the Queen of Mantherin, she was the one who kind of took the women folk and stuff, right? But then they all got badass and got pitchforks and were standing shoulder to shoulder with the men. Isn't that correct? So she kind of organized their rebellion as well.
That's also kind of parallel to women fighting against the Trollocs in Emmons Field with Perrin.
In Shadow Rising.
Yep.
So so to that point, I saw
it,
not only in the Flame of Tar, her sacrifice, and I do wonder, would she have made the sacrifice if her warder hadn't just died, 20 minutes before or something?
Yes.
Yeah,
she's that great.
I think she would have made the sacrifice. If that was what yeah.
I mean, bold take, Dan.
I'm just one. Yeah, no.
I know. I'm playing with you. No. Maneth. All right, so this is great. It went back in the chat just to bring this up. Manethrin really needs to start using fresh blood.
The old blood.
Let's go through these real quick. I think
like Joe Rogan, you got to transfuse some 17-year-old triathlete blood.
Seriously, yeah. Give me some alpha brain. Give me some
and some hemoglobin and some shrooms.
Give me some sight and brain. All right, so here, let's go through these real quick. This is from Chancity. I'm probably not saying her name right. My apologies.
Chancity.
Was Ilyena forsaken, unbeknownst to Lews Therin? He was always pretty clueless about women. It goes on. Lews Therin managed to make everyone else he knew into a forsaken. Lanfear, Demandred, Samael, Ishmael himself.
Nice.
Ishmael himself has based his whole philosophy on lies. Was told by him by don't say that name. It's dangerous.
Yeah, don't say that line.
Shut.
Right. So I have a question regarding that question.
Anthony.
Could Ilyena channel?
Say it again.
I think so.
Could Ilyena channel the power? Ugh, words are hard.
Yeah,
I believe so. She earned 3 names.
Yeah, she earned her name.
Okay, cool. That was just a legit question. I had no clue.
Yeah. So how do you get a third name? Does that mean you're all like teachers at the Paradisen kind of thing?
I thought it was like bestowed on you by the council or whoever for doing deeds.
Deeds.
But I could be completely wrong. I'm wrong.
Doing things that like serve other people, and I don't know. I'm not that well versed on that. So I've been wanting to know, for each of you, give me at least one thing foreshadowing wise or something that you picked up on this reread that you definitely did not see the first time through.
I like battles.
Not just these chapters, but like
the whole book up until now.
I like battles.
What?
Matt.
Yeah.
I like battles.
Oh, from the beginning. Yeah.
He's talking about the stories of battles from Tom.
And Tam's like, hey, kid, calm down.
That's excellent. I love it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. I mean, I think I've probably took much more notice to men's viewings than I did in my first read. Fair. None of it made sense to me at all.
Yeah. And did all of it make sense, or were there still some questions on the second time through?
I think there was one that didn't make sense, but I think pretty much every other one I did. It was like when she like listed everything, and then she started saying a couple things at the end, like these random things. And I think one, maybe even two, but I think there was one I was like, what the heck is that? Huh. Even still.
Yeah. Cool.
But I don't have it on hand, what it may have been. But yeah, I certainly took more notice. I'm like, oh yeah, 7 Broken Towers. Shit, I know what that is. All these things. I was like Ryan. I just skimmed through things. I'm like, okay, she's seeing all these weird. Okay, cool. That names. I just look at like the first 2 letters, and I'm like, blah, and then all the Aes Sedai started like seeming kind of similar, and I'm like, oh wait, that's not who I thought it was. But I never say them out loud, so I still don't know what a lot of their names are.
Yeah,
I
that
just
was one
look
for
at
me
'em.
also. I've gotten into the audiobooks these last couple times through. It helps out a lot with pronunciations, even though there are variations even amongst the same voice
Right.
actors.
Right, even in the same chapter.
Yes. Something I'm in New Spring right now for the second time through New Spring. I've read the rest of the series 4 or 5
I'm sorry.
times.
I'm sorry for you.
I enjoy it. It's fun. It's not long. It doesn't.
Yeah, it's short. That's a good
Yeah.
quality for it.
You don't
But
like New
it's
Spring?
it's fan
I don't
service,
remember
and
liking
it's a
it.
lot
I
of
probably
fun.
will love it now, but I remember just being like, "What is this?" I remember just someone get thrown into a pool. I remember thinking, "What the fuck?"
No, it dumps a
a
whole
pond.
lake on her head. Honestly.
Yeah, I was
fun,
like,
but
whatever.
yeah.
Like that seems so like
She's like, "You're gonna
slapsticky.
throw
I
me
was
in
not
there?"
into that shit. But go on.
But like some of
Dawson's Creek.
the Aes Sedai that you meet throughout the series, they're like accepted and freshly Aes Sedai in New Spring, so it's cool. Just little things like that, like Morel, who Moraine gives Lan's bond to. They're accepted, like they're practicing the test for Aes Sedai. Like Moraine, Swan, and Morel are hanging out together a lot towards the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So Moraine and Swan were a thing, right?
Yes.
Most definitely.
It is said definitively that they are pillow friends,
pillow friends.
in New Spring.
Yeah.
Right, but Pillow Friends itself like insinuates that it's like
Pillow fights.
it's temporary.
But I
Okay,
think that
you know
was RJ's early '90s living in the South.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of hand.
So are they still a thing? Are they still a thing when they reunite? Are they
In here they are.
Did they
that's me.
both just move on?
Hey,
Well-
Village Mattress. Nice new name popping up in the chat. Very nice to meet
Look,
you.
Mattress, you itch.
Hey, man. I hope if you are actually representing a mattress company, good luck.
Yeah.
I have a question in the chat. we
And
wanna
Ryan,
get
by
to.
the way, we're open to sponsorship.
Oh hell yeah!
Guys, go get a
Hell
Village
yeah!
mattress.
Vil-
I hear that they're the softest, itchiest things on earth.
Yeah.
I hear that they
Why are you
are.
saying itchy? I don't know what.
Well, because
yeah.
the Village mattress is filled with like straw, or is just a pallet with, I don't know, it has mites. Yeah, no, Village.
Terrible.
That's
And
not.
you
Yeah, I
really
mean
don't
it's a
want
village.
sponsor,
Like,
do you?
All right.
no, yeah, no. Yeah, okay, and go.
Village mattress is stuffed with only the finest goat hair and goose down. See all those swans in the thatched roofs? They're going to be a mattress in a week. Buy Village mattress.
Beautiful.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. So.
Oh, he owns 2 furniture stores. Ah. All right, no, seriously. All right, I can do a better one. I seriously.
Dan, this is your God.
I
Everything
can do a
go.
better one.
Go. All right.
You got this.
All right. Here, wait. Boom. And go. Get on the light.
Guys, I know that the road between Cleveland and Cincinnati can be a desolate place. However, I have 2 furniture stores that sell mattresses, that sell mattress box springs, that sell mattress slats. You want a futon? I got futons. Do you want a couch that pulls out into a bed for someone who won't go home or drank too much? I got that. If you even need some lamps or some side tables, I got shitloads.
You're veering
Come,
off course,
please,
Dan.
please,
You're veering
come
off.
to
Stay
Village
focused. Stay
Mattress.
focused.
Come to Village Mattress. We're located on I-80 between Cincinnati and Cleveland. There's 2 locations. We're right by the Del Taco. And you can also see us go behind. We use the parking of the Bed Bath & Beyond, but we're not supposed to. So don't park there after 10 because they have towed people before. Thank you. Village Mattress, 2 locations in the greater Ohio area. How'd I do? Did I lose Dana?
She said she'll be right back.
Okay.
BRB. Yes, that was beautiful.
That was beautiful. I would buy a mattress if I needed a mattress.
We either got really like love, or we're getting it soon. I hope
All right. So, they're in Zionsville, Indiana. Okay.
So it's close to Cleveland-ish.
So, when you're going over, on the way to, where's Notre Dame at? South Bend.
South Bend.
So, I don't think we're near South Bend. I think Zionsville is probably closer to the middle of Indiana, if I'm to guess. Zionsville was named actually by a man by a basketball player. He's Zion Williamson. He's a stud. They named it after him. It's fantastic. The foresight. So that's probably the best foreshadowing I've seen ever is to name a city about 150 years before Zion Williamson was born. Oh, what are we doing, Ryan? We're losing our guests?
No, I don't know what's going on. Oh,
I'm
yep.
back.
Okay.
We're back. Did you do
What
did
I say? I'm going to apologize immediately. What did I say to kick you out? I'm sorry.
I just
What
keep
did I
hitting the
say,
wrong
Jake?
button.
What did I...
I just keep pushing the wrong button. That's user error right here.
Northwest. Oh, Northwest.
No, I had
Indianapolis.
somebody come in. I had somebody come in holding a phone, and I needed to check to see if it was important. As a mom, you worry about these things,
No,
I
absolutely.
understand.
Is everything well? You're back?
Everything's great.
Everything's cool?
Yep.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. Good. You're the best, Mom.
So I have one last thing, and it just something that I thought of yesterday while I was listening to the chapters, and it has to do with the ways and how they became tainted.
Ooh, baby,
Bum, bum, bum. So Loyal says 1,000 years ago, during the War of 100 Years, the ways began to change. That's pretty much it. But we know about 1,000 years ago, during the War of 100 Years, a certain someone was spun out of the Dark One's prison to wreak havoc on the world.
Oh, do you think that he corrupted the ways?
I mean, I don't know that I necessarily think that, but it's a possibility in my brain right now. Just something I thought of yesterday. I'd never thought of it before, but as I'm listening to the chapters getting ready for this, I was like, whoa, what if he did?
When I always tried to, I could not understand why we had something that can get tainted, right? I was like, what does that mean, tainted? And then I was like, okay, it was made by Aes Sedai, who are all like going crazy. I get that, but it makes it easier for me to understand how it could remain tainted because it's like a living thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
okay.
But it's what really got me was it's been about 3,000 years since the breaking, and that's when the men really went mad, and that's about the time that the Ogier and the Steading were kind of sheltering the males.
Right.
And that's when they gave them the gift of the ways. So for 2,000 years, they weren't changing unless, like Dana says, or like Dana thinks, it happened on a microscopic level and very slowly, and just in the last 1,000 years is when it started to show. But I'm positing this theory that what if 1,000 years ago, Ishmael did something and actually brought the black winds? Like, that's a construct of him. Like, he made that.
How would you do that?
I don't know. It's just a thought.
Yeah, no, I'm loving it. I'm digging it, and I'm trying to dig deeper. I'm not challenging it. I'm just I'm
and I have
pressing
no
it.
real basis.
But it's kind of
it's
kind of the way that guy works. So he's really all about the big kind of
big picture.
He's the one who has like corrupted people's like cultures.
He sent
lore, right?
He sent Arthur Hawkwing's son across the ocean to start some shit and then come back.
Right.
And set the whole Shanshan in motion.
The way that Loyal describes it is that
and then there's the Trolloc War, and then there's the Black Aja. I mean, he was into some major.
The way Loyal describes it was
big game.
It was from the corruption, from the taint of the siding that that created
That's
it, correct?
the theory.
Correct.
It's
That's what
never
Loyal
said
says.
specifically. That's what he thinks, and that's the
Correct.
unreliable narrator.
Right. Huh. Ryan, what do you think?
What do I think? I think that that's a great theory. Like, again, like that is kind of how Ishmael, I'm learning, it has been influencing the bigger picture of over the ages, right? He's been playing the long game, and he has seems like he's kind of like, you know,
I wonder
If
how
he's
he
like
would
a-
corrupt the ways. That would be such a crazy, crazy,
I mean,
and
he
it
has
just
access
kind of
to
like
the
just
true
starts
power.
Here's the
disintegrating.
question: why corrupt the ways?
That is the question.
Right.
well, I
To
mean,
keep the ogre from going from steading to steading. I don't know.
Why?
That's just
It's
I don't
not like
know.
Right,
Ogre
because you
played
can
major-
travel.
because let the Lord of Chaos rule or whatever he says.
could
That's a good question.
could Rand have gotten to the end and persevered without meeting Loyal?
No.
No.
All right, so there's no fucking free will. All right, guys, Dan, let's get another mattress. Let's get another mattress commercial right now. 1, 2, 3. Here's this man's store.
All right, go. Ow. Hey, Puppet Brother Dan, what's wrong? Oh, my back is all fucked up. What? What are you sleeping on? Oh, I'm sleeping on. God damn it! I'm sleeping on like goose feathers, and swan feathers, and goat fur, and thatch on a pallet. On a pallet. Oh, hey, Brother Dan, Puppet Brother Dan, I think I have your solution. What? That's amazing. Is it chiropractic? Because I don't believe in that necessarily. No,
Is it Dianetics?
Man. Listen. What do you do 1/3 of your entire day? You sleep, right? Yeah, you're probably right. I'm in bed a lot. Okay, so why are you sleeping on goat fur, brother? Because I'm a traditionalist. No, it's time to step into the 21st century. Welcome to Mattress Firm. Listen, we have all the best mattresses that you can ever find. We have mattresses that have support. We have mattresses that have a remote control. Hold on, you have a remote control. Your wife likes to sleep on goat fur, and you don't really like to. She can push a button and go 97, 96, 95, 94. Goat fur. And you can go like, all right, I'm going away from goat fur. 33, 34, 35, 36. Comfort level. And then you're fine. And while you're here, get a better pillow. You know how important a pillow is? I actually travel with my pillow. I take it to hotels because their pillows suck. I bring my own pillow because it's that important. Guys, go to Mattress Firm. And actually, let's call it Mattress Firm or Mattress Soft or Mattress in between, because we are here for you. You're not here for us. We're here for you. We're located in Zionsville, Indiana. And when you're here, tell them Peyton Manning sent you. Do we get the job? Mattress King, I want a sponsorship.
Or at least a subscribe, like and subscribe at least.
Like and subscribe.
All right, we got to wrap this up, everybody. This has been an epic 3-hour super fun marathon.
Oh my gosh.
Does the chat have any last second requests? Any questions?
Someone said I have a pillow friend.
Dan, Ryan, do you either of you have any questions for us? Real quick before we wrap it up.
Oh, who do you like better? Me or Dan? Just kidding. No,
I like Jake.
Yeah,
I like Jake too.
Dan's
I'm
my
picking
homie.
Jake. I'm picking David.
My question is, when are you going to be back on? Is my question. We're going to do this again for sure.
I will say this: I would be on any episode of The Great Hunt. The Great Hunt is one of my favorites.
Okay. All right.
Beauty. And we're finishing up. We're finishing up in
you go.
December. So we're starting The Great Hunt, I think, first week of January, right?
Isn't that
Awesome.
that's kind of like the Cannonball Run, right? Of books, The Great Hunt.
Yeah, it's fast paced. It's
Yeah, like going across.
yeah, it starts off fast and it just kind of keeps going. There's a little bit of dips here and there, but it's fun.
Awesome. No, I
keep running all over the place.
Do you okay? So, how did you come about this series? Were you a fantasy fan before this?
I had read a few of the Game of Thrones books, and I was at a music festival with some friends, and I was talking about it with one of them while we were kind of just dicking around. And he's like, "Hey, you should check this out." And he kind of gave me a little brief synopsis of the Wheel of Time and sent me the entire series. Well, actually, not the entire series. The first 13 from a ripped PDF file that he had downloaded.
Ooh,
and so I read them on a tablet.
Pirate Jake.
Yep. And yeah, so I just read them. I think about 8 years ago was the first time I read it.
Okay.
And yeah, I've done it about 5 times since.
Oh, geez. Okay.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Awesome. Okay.
That's beautiful.
Right, it's
Yeah,
kinda
no.
bright.
Spotlight's
Oh my
on
God.
you. Was this your first fantasy series or?
Oh no. No, I started reading fantasy probably right off the bat. When I started, I was one of the later readers in my family. Everybody else in my family were avid readers. And so I probably was 11 or 12 before I really started just digging in and reading stuff. But I jumped right into to fantasy. So it was Anne McCaffrey and Piers Anthony and stuff like that. So then when I went to college, I had a sorority sister who also lived in the same complex where I did, and I was like, "Hey, what is that you're reading?" Because I like the look of that those covers because they looked like the standard covers of the time. And so in 1992, I read all of the books that were out at that point that she had. And almost immediately another one came out. And so I've been reading them since then. And so I got the first 6 in paperback. And after that, I just started getting them in hardbacks and eventually went back and got some used copies of the hardbacks of the first 6. And so that's what you see on my shelf here, right here. On my
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Old art covers.
I didn't know those were books.
So,
I thought they were
so that's what that's
just decorative things, like Native American.
That's the Wheel of Time
things.
That's the
awesome.
the Wheel of Time. Plus that's 2 of the Stormlight Archive. I'm reading the other one right now. And so
that's a quote you did,
that's
right?
what these are, and most of it. Oh yeah. That's a quilt I did. This is a quilt that I finished from pieces from 3 generations of a family of
Can
women.
you bring that up to the camera?
Nobody...
Can you bring that up to the camera, please? please show us the details, the marvel of it.
Yeah.
Jake, do you have an Etsy account? Do you blog?
No,
do you vlog?
Not really.
Do you have anything you want to promote? Do you
He
write
does have a
poetry
new,
you've never
Discord.
shown publicly,
It's
but
a
you
fun
want to do
one.
now?
No, not really. Yeah. I did just start a little Discord, but it's just kind of.
That's exclusive. I get it.
No,
All right,
no, not exclusive at all. It's just it's in the process of being worked
look
on.
at that.
Look
That
at
is
this.
beautiful,
All right.
Dana.
All right, so this is all handmade. There are folded pieces of cloth that are folded and sewn by hand several times. You keep folding the corners in, and then you sew 4 of those together, and then you put a piece of fabric in the middle and fold these over and sew that by hand. And so everything is done by hand.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
It's all hand sewn. Every bit
Look
of it.
how they're like diamonds.
Yeah.
I like how they kind of
This is called
there.
this is called a cathedral window. So this is an heirloom piece that nobody finished in a family, and when the last woman died, nobody knew what to do with it, so they gave it to somebody who was a quilter, who gave it to another quilter, who gave it to another quilter, who said, "Hey, who wants it? Who does handwork?" Like, because most people just quilt on machines now, like they sew things together on machine and then hand quilt. And so I was like, "Hey, I'll take a shot at it." And so I'd never seen it before, and I was like, I can figure out how to do this. And so now I have people giving me old pieces of quilting stuff. So the next time I'm on, I'll put another quilt over there. That's
awesome. You can always trade them out. Yeah.
Last time I was on, there was a different one that I had on there that I made from pieces of old quilt pieces that had never been finished into a quilt that somebody didn't want. That, when somebody died, they just donated all their pieces to the quilting club. And so, I'll put various things over on my chair. Like the next time.
Do you take commissions? Because the chat is loving what you did.
All right. Go on. Decatus Moonblade, very nice to meet you. That's a new name we don't recognize. Give us a like and subscribe if you prefer this kind of wacky content.
Hi, Moonblade.
Oh, we are familiar.
No,
okay.
I don't know Moonblade, but hey,
all right.
To Discord.
Come to Discord, yes.
Strangers are just friends we haven't met yet. It's good to know you, Mr. and Mrs. Moonblade.
All right. So, do we have anything else, chat? I think we are tapping every last vein possible. This is still. I mean, I could literally do this for hours. This is so much fun. But
this has been a lot of fun.
Yes. Let's just let's just keep them waiting. Keep them waiting.
Keep them waiting. We did, Ryan. I should say we have topped over 250 subscribers.
Yes, we have.
Congratulations!
As of this
milestone.
We had not hit it before the show. During your performances, guys, at least 2 people have subscribed. So thank you for subbing. Thank you. All this stuff. This has been the funnest. This has been the funnest. It's always the funnest. I love meeting new best friends.
It's been a blast. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for hosting. You guys, I like this dynamic.
She did good.
I helped out a little bit. Very well. You both are rock stars in my eyes.
This is so exciting. It's so exciting to see new names in the chat. I hope to see you guys again.
Yes.
This is going to be a new tradition of ours to do these tavern talks and get experts, whether or not they want to admit it. If you read the series 5 times, you're either an expert or something else.
A little test, maybe.
And we are thinking that this is going to be a Patreon exclusive eventually, these sort of tavern discussions. So everyone who's joining us here now, thank you for joining us. And when we throw up a stupid little $1 paywall, hopefully you guys will join in, and so we can continue on.
Yep.
Support your local breweries.
Support your local everything.
Local everything. Yes.
Go down to your neighbor's yard sale and just buy everything.
Here's $20. I'll take it all.
Doesn't matter if it fits. Right. Just support local. So the future of our show is we are taking a break for the holidays, and we will return in December. The next time you see us, we will be on the Dusty Wheel on the 2nd, and then we will return with our first time reader show on Thursday, December 3rd, and that will be with Chancity and another guest we have not yet to confirm.
It's going to be so much fun.
It's right. And so we are getting close to finishing up the entire book, The Eye of the World. And we're going to try and make this culminate on December 17th. So we're going to make December 17th the last episode of season 1, we're going to call it. And after that, we'll take a break for the holidays, come back in January, and pick up with the second book. We're having a blast doing this.
And guys, seriously, it's Christmas is coming up. Go get a mattress, would you? Seriously, you could use it. It'll make your life better. Get,
or a Hanukkah
get,
mattress.
get a Hanukkah mattress. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
Then you'll sleep for 8
Just
crazy
treat
nights.
yourself for whatever holiday you choose.
Yeah, whatever you
Yes.
celebrate.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Why am I limiting Christmas? Just go get a mattress. It'll make your life better.
Yeah, I mean, especially I want extra. I love the one that you can go from like goose down to thatch. Like I love those settings.
Yeah.
Right, like if your wife wants extra thatch, you like just turn the dial, make it thatch that up.
It's
If
amazing.
you want more goose
technology.
down,
They're
Amazing
wizards, right?
technology. Yep.
all right. I mean, yeah, if you don't like that, we're just going off on mattresses for 10 minutes. Hey, man, we're improv
no,
puppets. Like basically anything put in front of us, we're gonna take and make jokes out of. But honestly, we do it out of love. You guys fill us up with human souls. We came here formless and soulless. Now we are almost human. We are this close to becoming sentient, loving creatures. We're now on the way because of our interactions with you guys, meeting friends like Jake. Jake, this is your first time. Unbelievable.
Jake, everyone
Thank
clap.
you so
Everyone
much.
clap
I was
now.
ridiculously
loudly.
angry.
You're absolutely adorable. You are a handsome,
Jake.
adorable man. Dana,
Oh, thank you so
Zuul,
much.
I mean,
There is no Zuul, my dear.
Yes.
No
Thank you
Dana,
again for
only
coming
Zuul.
on. You are the best. We are honored and can't really demonstrate our appreciation for you guys. You guys are both beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
There is
you.
no Dana. There is only Zuul.
There's no only
This is right.
Zuul.
All right. Hey, Brother
and
Dan,
all
I
you-
think
All
yes.
you lovely saplings out there, way of the leafers, we love you too.
Yes, you're all the best.
Brother Dan, I think at
Kisses.
some point we're gonna have someone literally fall asleep on one of our live streams. It's gonna happen.
It might be me.
It's gonna happen. These weaklings. Look up. There we go. All right, everyone. If you got your books, pick them up. We're gonna say goodbye.
Bye, y'all.
I don't got my book. All right, guys. See you, everybody.
Bye.